Oh yeah, right. Forgot. We didn't prepare this at all. Hey, hi. But guess what? We stopped just in time. The music stopped at just the perfect time. Well, it started up again. Hi guys, welcome to another episode. This isn't going well so far. Welcome to another
episode where we give you a movie that is unavailable to watch through any major streaming platform.
That's what we do.
That's what we do here.
Next, it's going to be... Yeah, boy, that was a whole month of that last week.
Yeah, and I was like, cool, we're starting fresh. And then I went home last night, and I was like, and then you texted me like right as I was driving home, and you're like, hey, can you find this? And I was like, son of a bitch.
Well, I was like, I know my father-in-law owns it. Maybe you can loan it out to everybody. Hey, so did anyone watch the 1987 Southern Noir Western vampire extravaganza? Near dark. That's the costume we were watching. She goes, "It's Twilight." I was like, "It is Twilight."
Yeah,
but then it's
Twilight.
like, well, I've never seen any of them. But,
I have. I've seen.
Are they good?
Yeah, they're great.
Okay, cool.
Look, Robert Pattinson hasn't made a bad choice.
Yeah.
Actually, he really hasn't. We were talking about that the other night, Kelsey and I, because after Twilight, you're like. Because he used to be like, oh, would you sacrifice kind of in order to get to a level where you had what you... And I'm like, now that I've seen what him and frankly Kristen Stewart too have both done with their careers. I'm like, oh, it's totally worth like doing some chump change, like some stuff that's not great.
So, but the chump change thing, like they got paid a crap
load of
money.
They'd never have to work again. So they can do these small indie movies that are like... amazing. So like, it's kind of like, amazing.
Yeah, and that's like not like to me. So that's not like a real question.
Yeah,
it's like would you?
I'm like, this is a
would
real
you do a
Sophie's
blockbuster? Would you work?
But they didn't get a lot of crap. For a long time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I talked to someone today who was like, man, like, blah 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 blah, and she's like, we watched. They were saying they watched something, and because it was we shot at a high school, and I was talking to a person, and she was like, yeah, we watched something with Kristen Stewart, and she was like, and I actually kind of liked her in that. And I was like, yeah, Kristen Stewart's a fucking phenomenal actor.
Yeah, she's
really great.
She's really good.
The only thing anyone's ever seen her in is Twilight.
And she's terrible in that. Like, and they're both really bad in those movies.
Are they really?
Oh yeah, it's really not good. Yeah. But they're really, really like a particularly awful level of bad.
But like, okay.
I love watching them. I've watched 3 of them. I don't know how many there are, but I watched 3 of them, and each time I was just like, this is so fun because it's like real bad. Okay. But fun.
Okay. Huh.
But I don't think they're going for that. But maybe they are. I don't know.
What is it? Chris Columbus? No, it's Kathryn Hardwicke. I was like, Kathryn Bigelow. No, Kathryn Hardwicke.
I think that was probably one of the disappointing things is like the level of directors they were getting. And you're like, oh, you're roped into such awful material from the get-go. Yeah, the Lighthouse trailer. Yeah, that's another thing that I'm just like, he is continually pushing himself into new directions. The Lighthouse is the new movie from the guy who did The Witch.
Yeah, you're right.
Looks awesome. I also watched High Life recently. I didn't love it. I didn't even really like it, but I enjoyed him in it. And I appreciate that he's willing to go make these really super artsy-fartsy independent sci-fi genre movies or whatever he's doing.
Yeah, I wanted to see that Cronenberg, that something.
Cosmopolis.
Cosmopolis.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
He was great in that. That was the first time I was like, oh, he's like really going for it. And then I saw The Rover, and I was like, oh, he's like really going for it.
And then there's
and people hated The Rover. Rover's awesome.
And what you call it? The other thing, Good Time.
I haven't seen Good Time.
No, me either.
I heard that's the one.
Yeah, I know,
I heard that's the one where everyone's like, oh, he's done it.
Yeah. It's insane that The Witch was that dude's first movie. Man, we had The Witch and I didn't get to it. We were about to watch it and I just didn't get to it. I did watch recently though, however, It Follows. Have you seen It Follows?
I haven't seen It Follows.
So like people are always like, oh man, there's like this renaissance of these like horror movies these days, and they're actually like really good movies. And every time I watch one, I go, it's not. This is dumb. Mm-hmm. It Follows. I was like, oh, this is good. This is really good. And I'm like, it's a concept that I'm like, people are, they're always like, oh, it's brilliantly unique. And I'm like, this one is unique. This is a unique concept. There's an element to this that I'm like, that is terrifying in a way that I've never felt. Like, it's not terror. It's just, I just kind of go like, It's not terrifying, but I just kind of go like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like an element to it that I go like, oh, and I've never quite felt that. Good job. And it's just
and
like,
that's all I'm looking. I don't really get. This is not like a man thing. I just don't really get scared. I get like that.
No.
I get like I'm like, oh, this is scary.
Yeah.
And I get excited.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a defense mechanism where I'm just like, oh, this is scary, and I'm like, I laugh and I marvel at it.
Yeah.
And like The Witch to me was just like The Shining. It was like really unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah,
it wasn't scary, but it was unsettling.
The soundtrack is good. The soundtrack is definitely good. It's also this kind of like weird, like out of time thing where it's like, it's the 80s, but no, it's not. It's modern day, but who knows what it now looks like, the 50s sort of, whatever.
I need to watch it.
Yeah, it's good. It's very, I mean, it's just like boom, 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 like pretty like A to B to da da da. It gets going immediately and you go, cool, I'm having a good time. Well, I'm into it. I'm into it. It just, there's not a whole lot to kind of hem and haw about because you're just like, we're going, I'm in it. Cool. I care. Oh, yeah. Well, that's fine. Oh, cool. I'm noticing these things. That's cool. Kind of a weird, not weird, but just like a thing at the end where like you go, that was your plan okay. All right. And then you do that and then it goes into this thing and then it just kind of has like a little semi-ambiguous ending and you go like, right. That's what
Yeah.
And I just like freaking solid, like really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I was curious to watch it. Mainly because after I heard that his second movie that he did, it basically just got pushed right to VOD because people just kind of weren't into it.
What was it?
Something with Andrew Garfield. It was like some, I want to say it was like a detective, like a Big Lebowski LA detective thing.
With Andrew Garfield.
But like I think about a screenwriter in LA. So it was like that thing. It felt like that sophomore effort of like, oh, you moved to LA, so you're writing your LA movie, you know, like Southland Tales with what's his name?
Donnie Darko.
Like Under the Silver Lake, that's what it's called. Yeah, I don't know.
I do enjoy the smart horror genre films coming out just because they're a bit different. Suspiria remake was a nice change of pace, right? I need to see that. Journey to Horror is just flat out fun explorations. I haven't seen Us yet.
I haven't seen Us. I need to catch up on I love my good horror, and Suspiria was amazing. That was really, and I'd seen the original first at Austin Film Society like a week before, and then I went and saw the remake, and I really enjoyed the remake way more.
I keep hearing, it doesn't have to be this filmography. Since I watched Interstellar, I'd love to see the Interstellar Battle Royale on stream. So I think that would be. I think that's definitely gonna happen. And that'll be fun. That'll be a big fun time. Super fun, great fun for all.
That'll be great.
Yeah, it'll be great.
You do a whole month on Interstellar.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I feel like we ended. I mean, like, but like,
I could still
people here are gonna. Yeah.
But I still love it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, totally.
I've come to accept my. I think I just have fundamental differences about how I view things. Like I think Christopher Nolan's like an incredible filmmaker. You know, having said that, like I got a 4K player and I bought Dunkirk because it was like a showpiece type 4K movie. And it's amazing. And I was like, I haven't seen it since the theater. I liked it, and then I watched it again, and I was like, it's a really admirable piece of filmmaking. Just don't think I love it as a movie.
Sure, yeah, and that's totally. I'm certainly felt that way about things. I think, where I just go like, freaking solid. You did it. Not for me. Did it?
Yeah, and
or
I
like,
I want him to
not
go
getting
smaller.
me here. But
I just want him to go back to smaller. But why would he? I mean, if he is in the rare position where he gets to make movies he writes.
Yeah.
With $200 million budget, why would you ever go back? So I can't really complain. I just. He hit like I loved a Memento, and I'm talking about like just for my kind of filmmaking on an emotional level with Memento, and then even his remake of Insomnia, which is not as good as the original but still very good. And then with The Prestige, I was just like, The Prestige is everything I've ever wanted out of something that he offers.
Totally, I agree. Prestige is great. Interstellar to me is. Prestige is
awesome. Yeah.
Prestige is like perfect, pretty much.
It is.
Interstellar, I definitely see the issues with it. It just is trying for something so much larger and also more intimate and so more personal. And I go, cool, that's why, and that's worth it to me. And I also like The Dark Knight Rises a lot. Christopher Nolan is P.T. Barnum. I mean, but I think I also think, to me, Interstellar is where he goes like, but here it is, and this is what I'm saying. Here's my heart, and I'm like, I'm there, man. And even yeah, prestigious. So I mean, what a I don't know, what a comment on commitment and art.
Yeah,
like I love it.
That movie works on all levels. That's like, what makes that movie so special.
It's kind of like maybe, I mean, it's, if you talk about movies about like artistic obsession,
yeah,
it's like
boom in the top 3.
Yeah, I'm like,
for sure.
The idea is really good. The execution is ham-fisted. Well, maybe I really like ham. Ham is good. Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, right.
It's not the time to get into this.
I'm stoked for Kathryn Bigelow this month. She does such good interviews. So like, I can't wait, because I'm just like, I cannot wait to attempt to establish a through line that connects these 4 films. After Dark. I mean, Near Dark, Point Break, Strange Days.
Haven't seen Strange Days.
Nor have I, and I'm excited.
I'm very excited for that one.
And Hurt Locker.
I love Point Break. I unabashedly love Point Break.
And I've never seen Point Break.
Oh my god, it is such a fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is just so good.
Yeah.
She just does, and like, this was interesting because this is her first feature.
Yeah.
Near Dark is her directorial debut as a feature filmmaker. And you know, I'd seen this once before, and I remember really enjoying it. I'll admit, I thought it was cheesy.
Yeah.
And when I say cheesy, I mean simply in the dialogue aspect.
Well, here's the deal.
And some of the performance aspects. But underneath all that is this, like, for her first movie, it's crazy. The command she has as a director already.
Yeah, I mean, compare this to Blood Simple, and you're kind of like, yeah, sure. Like, yeah. I mean, it's rough, but
it's rough, but it's not even rough in like, it's literally just some of the writing and the acting is a little here or there, but it's in the acting, I feel like it's more choices.
Yes,
but it's just like some things came off as a little cheesy that I think older Bigelow or more experienced Bigelow would have gone back and showed a little more nuance. Because you could take this same script.
Yeah.
And I heard that they were trying to remake it. I think it would be worth a remake.
I was watching it. I was like, this is honestly a good.
It's a great choice for a remake, because you could take the same script, and I don't even think you'd have to change it, and you could flesh out all the issues that I had in terms of like cheesiness. Yeah. Because underneath all that, like, it is a gorgeous film. Like, aesthetically, it is beautifully made. Like, the cinematography is beautiful. The music by Tangerine Dream is beautiful. It has a real haunting. She captures some really genuine stuff that's really great. I'm not a super fan of like whoever the lead is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who's his? What's the name?
He's he's a cross between Scott Bakula and he just kept reminding me of like I was like it seems like Scott Bakula, and then maybe someone else. I feel
like he's played a lot of older brothers in movies.
I've only seen him that I can remember in Near Dark, but
I've seen him in something. Was he in Heroes? I think he's in Heroes. The show. Yeah.
I
think he played Milo Vindablilu's
older
brother.
Adrian Pasdar is his name.
Pasdar.
Look at this dude. Look at this. Boom. Like
that's an action figure.
The practice. Oh yeah, sure. It's like
I think that's him on Heroes. Because he played, I think, the mayor or something.
Did he play John Hamm? It looks like he's playing John Hamm. Come on, just okay, whatever.
Yeah, Tangerine Dream really can elevate. They just have this haunting ability to bring a movie into this kind of transcendent level of experience.
It is honestly, Tangerine Dream is kind of like that. You go like, oh, they did the soundtrack, okay, and it kind of like, and then you're like, this is a little cheesy, and here in comes Tangerine Dream, and you go, it's on purpose.
Yeah.
You go like,
that's very.
They're because they're kind of going like weird, right? And you go, yeah. You want to watch Strange Days again? Well, hey, has a way cleaner script. I think there are moments in this. There are lines in this script. There are lines in this script that I'm like, but like. Because we were watching, so here's the thing. We started watching it, and I don't know if the because I got it from a legitimate streaming service, I think, because I had to get a free trial.
I did not.
Yeah, that's cool.
I had to watch.
Yeah. And by the way, while I'm saying this, please pop in and tell us if you got to watch it or not, or if you have seen it or whatever.
We're gonna start vetting these movies beforehand,
Yeah.
just so we can make sure there's a way to watch them in the future. So we're sorry about that.
I used to be like, when I made the this is what we're doing, I would like put every single streaming service that you could watch it in the tweet, and that like it just ended up being a really long. So I don't know.
And now you're giving like backlinks to like you're like.
Now I'm just like, just find it.
Yeah, this
Who
guy's
cares?
server is up for like 13 minutes. Like, make sure to download it within that time.
Yeah, Paulie's got a projector in his backyard. Yeah. That is a Hollywood actor man. Yeah, I know May is the neighborhood lady from the Lawnmower Man who bangs Jeff Fahey after season 1 of the Lawnmower Showdown. Oh, nice. Yeah, Lawnmower Man. Yeah, interesting. Lawnmower Man, Strange Days, Near Dark. Kind of like there's some connective tissue there. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
No, so we started watching it, and like, so I don't know if some of it was. It honestly seemed like some of the cuts were like jarring in a sense that like maybe the streaming was kind of screwing up, or it was like weird
Really?
for a little bit. It was kind of going like not. I don't know, but it was so. It was so overall. I mean, it was almost like Tennessee Williams. It was like. But I mean,
and that's kind of.
But Tennessee Williams is fantastic. I'm sorry when I say that it's like the only. I'm just saying melodramatic to the point of being a soap opera.
It was for reaching for the rafters type stuff.
It was.
That's what
like
it was. Yeah.
90210 kind of thing where it was like. I mean, like I started writing,
and that's why I'm saying the dialogue and then the acting wasn't helping that aspect. It wasn't downplaying it. It was leaning hard into it.
But the thing is, and then the music is going.
Like, you feel the night.
That's it.
Feel the night.
Because this is what it was, and like, and I'm not ragging on her. I'm not.
Neither am I, because she did great stuff in it.
She did it, and eventually, because initially she's like, he goes like, he shows up and he's like, pulls up his hand, he's like, hey, and he's like, hey, how about a beer? And I go, that guy has never worked a day in his life on a farm ever, and I know because I haven't either, but that guy has not. And he's just like, hey, and I go, oh, cool, and he's like, I'm from Texas, and I go, no, you're not. You are an underwear model that they put a cowboy hat on, but whatever. But he doesn't do a bad.
He's like, where can I get anywhere, or something about like anywhere to get away from here, man.
And I'm not knocking his performance.
Neither am I.
What I just go like every time I look at him, I go, it's not a ranch, it's not a cowhand, that's an actor. That is clearly an actor. Look at his stupid face, not stupid face. He's very chiseled.
You don't like this guy?
Male. No, I like him. He's a good dude. I think his performance is good. It is good, and it is good. But I just look at this dude and I go, like, you're a model. Yeah. You're not a cowboy. Yeah. That's not his fault. But they did it on purpose, because then she walks in and you go like, oh, this is like a romance novel cover. And he goes, and she just goes, he turns around, looks at her, and she's walking out and with the ice cream cone, and he goes, oh man, and walks over, and she goes, oh hey, oh the night, yeah, you can't, do you hear it?
And like the entire opening 15 minutes with him before what happens, I'm like, is he so horny that he's just ignoring all the signs? Because she is not well. Like the entire time she's doing that. Yeah. She's like, the night. I can't. She's like, the night. Can you feel it?
Oh, and it's just like, yes.
And he's like, I can feel you.
Yeah.
He tries to kiss her. And he keeps trying to kiss her. He lassoed her. Yeah, he lassoed her. And then at the end of like that whole sequence where they spend this whole night together, and she's like, I gotta get home. And he goes, because I'm not good at time. And I'm like, you're a vampire, you should have known better.
That was the thing that kept coming up. I was like, how are they so bad at not knowing how long a day is? Yeah. They have lived since the Civil War.
Yeah, since the hundreds of years.
And they're just like, oh, the sun. And they're like, go, Jesse. And I'm like, I mean, which is an interesting character trait if it's a choice, because they're just like, oh, they're just bad at it. You know, some people aren't good at keeping track of time.
And they just can't.
They just can't. You know, like, and they're just gonna die.
We're never gonna be. So it turns out we're never gonna be good at getting anywhere on time.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But like, so the sun's coming up. She's having him drive her back to wherever they're living or whatever. And then this is when I was like, this is such an early 90s movie. Yeah. Because he stops the car. And he puts the keys in his shirt, and he's like, I ain't going anywhere till you give me a kiss.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah. And
they weren't even trying to, like, it was, and then immediately Tangerine Dream comes in, and it's supposed to be like this. She's like, yeah.
But it's like, that's
this is
like
how you get a lady, and you're like, this doesn't work now.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like, it's kind of like, but like, and like,
better improvise.
They're on him, and it's like, and he goes like, oh, he's just being playful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's a line, and it's whatever, because like, I think even in 1987. That scene, that guy's a bad guy, but he's our protagonist.
Yeah,
he goes like, if he doesn't do that and go, I'm just kidding, sorry, like, sorry, this is a bad joke, you know, like,
it's such, like, and I could see that they were trying to frame it in a way where it's like, well, that's not great, but it's such a hard trait to come back from. And then I kept waiting at the end for it to be like he learned a lesson out of that or something, but he doesn't really. She just falls in love with him.
Yeah, well, like, she's just a crazy person. Like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's just, and that, it's just the kind of, like...
It's just such an unlikable trait to build. Like, I'm all for, like, I mean, you have to, inherently, you're like, okay, your protagonist has disagreeable traits at the beginning, learn a life lesson, change at the end. It's a hard trait to, like, get the audience to sympathize with.
But I don't even know that they're they
didn't play it that way.
And really. I don't think they're playing it as like, here's his character flaw and he's got to overcome it. It was not. It was like, what a rascal.
Yeah, it was.
What a rogue. What a Han Solo.
It was a Han Solo.
And it's kind of because like Han Solo does that and you go, oh, he's a dick. It's fine.
And also they had established their rapport enough at that point where she like genuinely liked him.
Yeah.
They had spent 5 hours together over the course of the night where the entire time he keeps trying to kiss her and she's not into it. And he's so frustrated that she's like, I have to get home before dawn. And he's like, no. Yeah. He thinks it's because his dad is going to beat her or something. He's still like, no. And now you have to get home immediately.
He also goes, what's your dad going to beat you? Like, he's kind of,
it's
like, what your old man going to
And now he's like, oh, I have leverage because now she really does need to get home.
It's a bad.
So I'm just going to not bring her there in order to get what I want, which is some,
Yeah. And then he goes like, lucky you, she was into that. Yeah. But like, you're not allowed to do that.
But honestly, the argument is then, he gets bitten and he gets turned into a vampire because of that. Yeah. So maybe in their head, it's just played in such a way that
so it honestly, so I know they did it felt clunky and it felt like this weird like rascal moment in this character that otherwise is just a good dude.
Right.
Like literally everything else he's just like, oh, come on. No, Jesse. No. And you're just like, you're okay. You're just a clean cut dude, whatever. But they had to do it because it's what gets her
to do it.
Yeah. Cause she wasn't going to do it otherwise. But she also didn't need that much, like, it's weird how we're flipping the cut, but I'm like, she didn't need much encouragement to do it. It's interesting because he's going,
why didn't she just kill him?
Yeah, because she loved him at that point. Whatever. Yeah. I mean, that's it. And that's it. And the thing is, like, that's okay. It's not what it's about. They kind of, it's almost like, it goes on a little longer than it needs to, because honestly, in that.
But I think Inblock's right. Like, it was made in 87. Like,
yeah.
The things we're talking about, they're like, what are you talking about?
Oh, no,
absolutely. This is 1987.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think they were having any of these discussions. I think this was 100%. A pretty common, literary.
And he's a cowboy device. In Texas. The thing is, honestly, if he had at all seemed like whatever, if it's like 1987 and he seems like some sort of like alpha rough and tumble dude, and she's like some like brassy whatever, and they'd really seem like those people, then it would be kind of like that's just part of the local color. Like men are but overbearing,
she seemed
men,
lost and confused, and like she kept talking about the night. And I'm like, what's her deal with the night? And he was just like,
he's like, whatever, man, you're really hot.
Yeah, he's like, oh, horses are terrifying of you, in a really strange way. Whatever, lasso you, come here. Oh, you're like crazy strong because you're like leaping me over to you.
And then he's like, wait, do you want to go play basketball? And she's like, dunks on Benjamin Bratt. And he's like, where'd you come from?
It up a wall.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like the opening of this movie is like, it really is like this really shorthand soap opera version of like Heathcliff and Kathryn, like Wuthering Heights, kind of like, just like almost like a bodice ripper. Like he's not, but that's the thing is that he's not. But it's just kind of like.
It felt like a poorly written like Sam Shepard play, like in 10 minutes. Like it just had like this small town America vibe. But it really, like when you said it was like a play, that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
And I don't even mean that in a bad way. It's just that like you expect some sort of inherent realism and subtlety in a film compared to a play.
Unless, well, and honestly, like it's the thing that like, if you're looking at a movie in the 80s, this is part of the grab bag of the 80s. It's a very 80s film in the sense that like it's uneven and parts of it are like, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is not a movie. I can't believe I'm watching it at this point. They would never do that. It would never be so big and crazy and whatever. And Natasha and I were watching it and we were just like, this is crazy. But it's also 80s and it fits. And then later it kind of settles into a thing. Like in the 80s, you only had to make like 75% of a good movie.
Yeah.
Because you go, all right, well, cool. And it's all messy. Like, and you see shit in the 80s where it's like essentially, like you'll see a boom mic and shit. Like there's stuff where you're like, how did that get left in? Or how did they just go, that's good enough or whatever. And then you go like, whatever. And you give it 30 minutes or 20 minutes. And then you go like, oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's really unique. I'm into it. And then the last half is bad. And I'm not saying that's what happens to this film. But there are films like that. And you go like, right. The 80s were about like, it doesn't have to top to bottom be unimpeachable. Yeah. Or it's like, or the other thing is that like movies these days are they're so conditioned. We're so conditioned to movies that are like, I'm not going to go like, we're not, it's like the Nolan Batman effect where it's like, we're not going to like go too far or be colorful. Cause like, then you'll be like, we got to just be gritty and like down and we're just like, everything's serious and we're just whatever and like really minimalistic and that's the way to make it realistic. And you're like, nah, sometimes life is weird and loud and colorful and crazy and have a little fucking fun with it because it's cowboy vampires. Yeah. And it's great. It's like a romance novel.
I feel like this movie for me though, like it worked in like there are like 6 short films in this movie that were awesome. Like they go, vampires go into a bar,
oh, it's great,
and then leave at the end.
That part,
they light it on fire.
Yeah.
Like from the second they enter to the end, I'm like, that's an awesome 10-minute short film.
It's
awesome.
It's Demon Night.
It's
basically
awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Here
and the guy who gets thrown on the pool table, I was just like, he's got to stop playing pool because he's the same pool guy in T2 who gets the knife shown through him.
Yeah,
I love that guy. But he's pool table guy in bars, and James Cameron evenly married Kathryn Bigelow, helped her out on this movie. He's in this movie.
Yeah.
I didn't see where, but he's like a truck driver.
He flips off Bill Paxton.
Oh, okay.
About whom I cannot wait to speak because
I'm waiting on that because it's gonna take up the rest of the show. And then, like, Aliens is on the marquee in the background. Yeah.
And it's the entire crew of the Sulaco or the
and it's the entire
Aliens. Not the Nostromo. What's the second ship? It's not Sulaco. Sulaco is like
they're on a planet.
But they're ship. Aliens.
I can't remember.
Yeah. I can't remember.
But yeah, that's she hired all of them because she wanted like it's Vasquez, it's
Hudson,
and
Lance. It's Bishop.
And she hired all of them because she was at the time good friends with Cameron. This was before they started dating and got married.
Cameron was like, hey, why don't you?
And she was like, I need a family dynamic, and she just saw an inherent. She's like, I can transport all these guys. They just shot Aliens, like they shot it.
Yeah. It's like
they went from that set to this movie, so there was that family dynamic kind of built in.
You guys think Bill Paxton did much improvising? I think Bill Paxton just constantly improvises. I don't know, man.
What's great and what makes so much sense is that he literally went from Aliens to this movie.
Yeah.
Like I think they just went from set to set.
Yeah.
Is how. I was like, oh, Bill Paxton was so crazy in the 80s. I was like, no, he just did 2 movies back to back where he didn't. They were just like lean into all and embellish your most crazy actor desires.
Well, I love it because
it's awesome. Like finger licking good. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's just going.
Oh, what was it? There was I like finger licking good. There was something else he said right before that I was like, oh my gosh, he is just like taking the scenery and just biting giant fucking bloody chunks out of it.
I kept expecting
and
to
I'm
come
like,
back to
do
him on
it,
the bar.
Keep going.
Yeah, he's just like chewing on the top of the bar.
Yeah, and it's so great.
It is great. So great. It is, but it is. is beyond over the top.
It is.
And it does clash. I find that it is wonderful, and also with this understated mythic tone that Bigelow is trying to institute.
Wow.
It's just because it is that thing where it's like,
I think it's so pulpy.
It is pulpy, but the idea is pulpy, but like the presentation of it, it's just interesting. It's weird because it has hauntingly, genuinely like artistically beautiful things, and then it'll go to a scene that's like hardcore pulpy, or be both within the same scene.
Yeah, and I think the whole thing just because, and it's that opening, and then they deal with like they set up a tension that I'm like, oh, this is fucking real. Like I go, oh dang, like here's his family, and like he's off them, and he's off with these guys. He's a vampire now. He has to be away from his family. That's his life now. He's got a little sister. They've got Tim Thomerson, the dad, and it's like they're looking for him, and just kind of like, oh no, there's this tension. Then the sister gets brought into it. I mean, they set up these things where I'm like, I really care. I really care, and you've done a really good save the cat job of putting this adorable, normal little girl and this brother-sister relationship, which is like great, really great, and I really care about it. But surrounding that is just like I mean, Lance Henriksen is great. Fucking over the top though, like crazy. I mean, like, this
is honestly one of my least favorite Lance Henriksen performances.
It is, but
he's like one of my.
Lance
I
Henriksen's
genuinely
amazing.
think he's never bad in anything.
No, he's not bad.
But of all the things he's been in, I was like, I don't like this all that much.
And I think this is honestly a little first-time director stuff because some of the performances, not just Lance, everybody,
yes,
is like, because she's like, it's like boom, and she's like, and then Vasquez is like, I'm Diamondback, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, and they just go and say their names.
Yeah.
They go roll call.
Yeah.
And then there's a point where he's like, what's going? He's like blah blah blah, and they like he doesn't kill the first guy or something or whatever, and they're like. And it's like fucking cats. Like they're like, hey man, you can't do this. And little kid goes, something stupid. And then like Lance Henriksen goes like, I don't know. And then fucking Vasquez comes in and goes like, yeah,
I'm Diamondback.
And I'm like, they are trading off sentences.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
It was
this
like cats. Yeah.
So silly. But I'm also like, rock and roll. And the thing is, like, having watched it all the way through and knowing that it like, it's doing it on purpose. It's so. It is, but it's also.
But I think, and maybe this is just more the filmmaker in me. It does seem like first-time director stuff.
There's
where
some
she's
stuff
like very technically comfortable, but she hasn't.
And she's going like, go to 11, and then she's like, it's fine.
And so she knows how to put a movie together and accomplish what she wants, like tonally and thematically, but she still hasn't figured out how to work with actors
yet. I agree.
And I get that. That was the last thing I figured out how to work with, and it's still the most I mean, that's what makes filmmaking fun now, is it's the live wire aspect, because you have to hire talented people, and then agree upon a mutual thing, and then trust each other to accomplish that goal. And I felt like she just hadn't figured that aspect out. And then she goes on to make beautiful movies that are like have some amazing acting, like especially towards her latter half of her career with like Zero Dark 30.
Oh yeah.
And Hurt Locker, where like the human acting emotion of the film is just as important as like the spectacle and everything that she's doing as a director.
And here's the thing, like. And working with actors is, actors are the only props that talk back and don't understand, get confused when you try to move them. So you're like, just shut up, stand there,
do your thing.
Do your stupid thing with your face.
Yeah.
And like, just don't fuck it up. Don't fuck this up.
Sure. But what's my motivation?
Like, oh, shut up.
Oh my God.
Can we get a plant? Can I get a plant? Is there any way I can just put a plant
What did you do on T2? Okay?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. We're going to throw you into a pool table, and that's it.
First you're going to give me back my spur, then I'm going to knock your tonsils out your asshole. What do you think of them apples, huh? And I bet the line was, I bet it was just a stage direction that it says, Severin walks menacingly toward young Jay Leno. He looks like young Jay Leno. He looks like someone who would play Jay Leno the early years in a TV movie.
Yeah. It's fair.
Look at him. Look at it. Look at a picture of him. It's exactly right. Sorry. Scenes go on too long. Actors are out of control. Yeah, and I mean, it's they're just like, but I don't think. Like I don't think she didn't realize. Like they're just kind of
no. But it's a danger,
and you're like that's too much and that's ridiculous.
Severin, like that's a loud, colorful character.
Totally.
But at the same time, it's like I feel like if she was to go back and remake this, it'd be awesome if she decided to remake this movie.
Oh, she did it? That would be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, that would be
so amazing.
Awesome.
Because she could do the same thing, and I guarantee you that Severin would be a much more, frankly, terrifying character on her second outing. Because she would find, like, she would still make him fun and loud and colorful, but I think there's a true menace there that was just completely missed kind of throughout the whole movie. Because I'm like, yeah, they're vampires, but that's not like, show me how, like, and I think she did a good job showing, like, them as characters and their backstories and kind of what it does to them, but show me how terrifying they are. And I think that's what the bar scene...
Yeah, because he slices that dude up with spurs and it's amazing.
But I feel like, especially Severin would have been, like, a genuinely monstrous Joker-like character in a new version.
Well... And I would hope because he's early on, Kosh and I were just like, oh, but and here's the thing, like Bill Paxton, God bless him, God rest his soul, he's amazing. He's amazing. And I for many years just like I don't get it. I don't know. That dude's like crazy and kind of over the top, and I'm not a big Bill Paxton fan, which feels awful to say in my heart.
But what was your first Bill Paxton movie?
I
never let it in.
I don't know. Yeah. Wait, what?
You say that in Bill Paxton's voice.
What is that from? Titanic?
I never let it in, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you need to be smelling a cigar and wearing this shirt, frankly.
Well, mine is always geez, Joe, is that what you think it did? You can't predict it. You can't. Yeah, it's not. Whatever. But here's the thing. Like, I was like Bill. I was like Bill Paxton. I was like, man, I don't get it. And then I saw True Lies, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love that man. Like, cause it's just brilliant.
True Lies, like he's
that made me turn the corner and changed everything. And I appreciate and love.
Well, I wasn't exposed to Aliens and Near Dark and like loud Bill Paxton until I had experienced Twister. Simple Plan, fucking like
missing the earring. Oh yeah, Simple Plan.
Yeah. Like stuff frailty. But like I'd probably seen Aliens by that point. But like I had seen a lot more serious Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
And like genuinely, like he's an effective dramatic actor.
Oh, 100%.
I wasn't gonna say good Bill Paxton because he's great.
He's great.
He's loud.
He's great.
He's great in this.
He's great.
It's just...
I would love to see him do Shakespeare. I would love to see him do certain characters in Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Because he's that character. He's that... And the thing is, like, you watch... If you're uninitiated or whatever, like, I saw, like, Aliens, and I was just like, Hudson is over the top, and I'm just like, shut up! Shut the fuck up, Hudson. But then you see it later when you're older, and you go, that's the point.
Yeah.
And he is nailing it. And the thing is... And then this is just so great. And it's so funny that it's back to back with Hudson because in some ways you're like,
oh, there's remnants of Hudson.
Well, but they're and you go like, cool, I see the whatever, but they're very different characters. Hudson is a broy coward. And this dude is just, I mean, my gosh. Like I'm trying because we were talking about remaking because I said something I was like, oh, this is right for a remake. And then later, really after the bar scene, I was like, oh, there you go. That's why that's the argument for not remaking it because you go like, how do you recreate that? How do you recreate Bill Paxton? The only like I go like who could do it and like Sam Rockwell's the only one that I was like I would like to see that. Like I want to see him.
You have to go younger.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I don't know, like Caleb Landry Jones or something like the dude from the guy from the brother from Get Out, or he's in 3 Billboards. He's that like he's from Dallas. He's in
the redhead guy.
Yeah, that dude's cool. He'd be good. He's a dude where you're like, what?
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
He's such a strong flavor,
Yeah.
and he just leans into it where it's just like, he just goes all the way.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and yeah, like, I mean, his performance is
own
great.
some
That
shit.
bar scene's great.
It's great.
You know, when he comes back into town on that horse, from the silhouette shot to him walking through town, and like, it is, you know, for as much as I find this movie to frankly have like a subtle undertone and everything, that is what's amazing about it, is like, it's a shot for shot like
Western.
Western.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's like Yojimbo, where he comes back in at the end and like he walks through the smoke, he walks down an empty street, he looks to his left, get a shot of the buildings on the left, looks to his right, shot of the buildings on the right, and then antagonist in the middle of the road. You know, like,
yeah,
it's just,
of
it's
course.
like very
Definitely.
straight and to the point. And that whole sequence all the way to Severin getting exploderized is amazing to me. Like, it's really awesome.
And then the last, oh, sorry, go ahead.
And then the other like standout sequence to me, which was truly beautiful and thrilling, was the shootout where the beams of light are like lasers.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
that was
awesome.
that was beautiful and thrilling and haunting looking, and just like, I was just like, that's awesome. This is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and it I mean, that's the thing, is that like, it starts off and it is this pulpy, not even, it's this bodice ripper of a romance novel, just kind of like, oh, a cowboy, and it, you know what, and it's just and a mysterious woman, and it and you just go, this is ridiculous, and then it goes further, and it's like, no, take him seriously. Oh, the night, and then it goes further, and then Bill Paxton shows up, and you go, wait, whoa, this is interesting. And then it goes, yeah, and then at some point, like 15, 20 minutes in, it just the movie just goes, just have fun.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, okay, gotcha. And it is fun, and then it goes darker, and then I go, oh, this is cool. All right, man, like, this is, I'm into it. And then it hits these great, really truly great set pieces, like that shootout, definitely. Almost. It just turns into great set pieces, really.
Yeah.
These contained, like, you know, they're in this, it creates this great world. They're in this blacked out car. They have to go to another blacked out car. They're getting chased. This is blah, 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 blah. You screwed us over because the cops, now, blah, blah, choo, 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 run, now you're one of us, all this stuff. And then the stuff with the sister, which, like, she's, you know, he comes upon her, and I go, oh, is that a little girl? That sucks. And then it's the sister, and you go, oh no, they've set it up perfectly. They've met each other in the middle accidentally, and then you go, this is paying off. Oh crap, this sucks. That's the heart of it. And then you know, it's like whoever this. It's like 14-year-old Kieran Culkin, but not like, you know, it's like,
I love that kid.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen?
Is he in other stuff?
Is it called Teenage Witch or
Teen Witch?
Teen Witch. Have you seen Teen Witch?
I haven't.
He plays her brother.
Oh, is he good?
And he's the best part of that movie.
There was a thing, and
it's a terrible movie, and it's awesome.
It's
a great. Like,
people love that movie.
If we ever do a bad movie month, it's a good one to do.
Oh, I think Teen Witch is beloved. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Akasha loves it. I think a lot of people. I've seen that, like, there's like a dance off in it. I've seen that scene. I
think so.
Because it keeps
it's been a long time since I've seen it.
But that kid.
But I remember loving that kid.
This there's a thing that they did in the 80s, and I don't want to blame this kid. I don't think it's his fault. I think he's a good actor. I mean, I think he probably was. But they did this thing in the 80s. One of my least favorite things is when there's a gang of bad guys, and they are led by, or there is a highlighted member of them that is a child. And they go like, oh, the child is like the most badass. And they grab a 12-year-old boy, usually. They go like, oh, man. Like RoboCop 2 or 3, who cares? One of them, the gang is led by a kid, like a 12-year-old. And they go, here he is. And you go, there's a badass kid. All right, sell me. And they can't, because they went and got a child actor. And child actors are the least tough actors in the world. I know.
I find it kind of terrifying because
it's 2. Yeah, I think it's 2.
It didn't really apply to this movie.
It's interesting.
I see what you're saying. I think it could still be done.
It doesn't, yeah.
Because what children don't have, particularly like 12-year-old boys, is just like they don't have enough life experience to like truly understand the consequences of their actions, and that in and of itself, like you don't really need to add to it as long as you just like remove a morality chip from their brain, and then they just don't realize the ramifications of their actions. That's terrifying in and of itself.
And maybe if they had gone, and I think this is again, this is a function of the 80s and a function of the first time director, but really almost maybe more a function of the 80s. But like they just had him do so many things where he's like, yeah. And I don't, maybe it's on purpose, because really thinking about it again, I'm kind of like, some of it works because it is like a weenery little 12-year-old kid going like, whatever. Oh, you know, he's like, oh, so.
Fucking, it was such an 80s thing.
I know.
T2,
yeah, and I go, but
just like Bigelow and Cameron, like they just fed
off
each
Furlong.
Other. They're like, I guarantee you,
Furlong.
like on their honeymoon, they were just like, it was like, that was a great honeymoon, babe. Thanks.
Yeah.
You want to have sex again?
No. And he goes, oh, you really want to cheese me off, don't you? You're gonna say, hasta la vista, baby. Oh gosh. And he's like, yeah, I remember when Eddie Furlong came out and spouted all these things, and I was like, wow, that's the coolest kid in the world, because I never heard any of that shit.
Yeah.
And then I grew up and went, no, James Cameron was trying to write like a 12-year-old, and like called up Nickelodeon, and a press person was like, I think these are things that they're saying.
Yeah.
It's just like,
you can see Cameron's fingerprints kind of on
a
this
little bit.
movie. I guarantee you, he was the one who was like, you should make that a semi at the end. And make the semi.
Oh, and it's so funny.
I was like, and then have him hang off the hood. He's like, why? Well, I'm writing this little movie called Terminator 2, and we're gonna do it.
True, there's so many Terminator and Alien things in here.
Yeah,
it's so funny. But I love. But that's another thing that happened in the 80s. I love when they get in the semi, and there's that character who's just like, yeah, man. Oh yeah, and this is I love driving this and that. Could you know? And I was watching and I was like, this is fucking electric. I love it. I love that dude. And he
was onto something.
This is
it works.
It definitely works. And it was a weird thing where I was like, this is a weird thing to appreciate about a performance. But I was like, that is definitely just a stationary vehicle that's being rocked back and forth in a warehouse. Probably.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. I mean,
you're absolutely right.
I mean, that dude he's not driving that, but no. Well, I was just watching, and I was like, why am I so, and I was like, and I believe 100% that he is driving a semi 70 miles an hour down the highway. Mm-hmm. And I know that's a weird thing to praise about a performance, but I was like, gosh, it just pops on, and there's so much like flavor there that I'm like, I love that dude. And that happens in the 80s. Yeah. They just throw in these characters that are just like, crazy. And then it's gone. And I just like, that's great. I love that scene. And you go, weird. And it's like that scene in Wayne's World where they talk to, you probably, this is not gonna make sense if people listening haven't seen Wayne's World 100,000 times. But they walk down and find Chris Farley, and he's like, and he tells them this thing about, he's like, yeah, this is Mr. Big. He's going to be driving here on his way to Chicago, blah, blah. And they go, boy, for a security guard, he sure seemed to have a lot of information. Oh, well. And they walk off, and then later it comes back, and they go, boy, isn't it great? Isn't it fortunate they were there to get that information? It seemed extraneous at the time. Well, they do. So like, there's that whole scene. He's like, yeah, this and that. And he's like, you ever drive a semi? He's like, I drove something. And he's like, well, not like this. Something different. This 15 blah, 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 blah. And if you don't do this, it'll jackknife. And I was like, interesting that you told me that. And then later he's like, oh, good thing I talked to that dude and figured out how to jackknife a semi. And he just goes, and I go, you didn't need to tell me that. These are vampires. Yeah. I don't care how he learned how to jackknife a trailer or if he screwed it up on purpose. But he's
like, you need the realism.
I was like, but I love it because I love that scene.
It's because Cameron used to be a truck driver, so he's like, look, if you're ever going to put a fucking truck
in... Is that true? That's not true.
Yeah.
Is that true?
That's what he did before he became a filmmaker. For, I think, several years.
Wow.
Like, that was what he did as a living, and then he was like, I'm
not
satisfied doing this.
No wonder he has just like these massive worlds. He just drove and thought about scripts.
Like, for years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's also why you're like, you get scenes like that. He's like, don't think you can just jackknife a truck and just do it. Yeah. Right? You gotta explain it, and the audiences want to know about it.
I want some Michael Mann level of detail. Yeah, but that whole thing happens. That whole corridor of the last kind of run of the movie where it's just like bam, 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 bam. It's like, oh no, we got it. Oh, we got it back. Hell, okay, what are we gonna do? And then we're running, and And they get her, and then she jumps out of the car. I mean, it's just thrilling. It's thing after thing after thing after thing, and I'm like, yeah,
and like the kid running at the end on fire and stuff was really well done. Like,
oh yeah,
so
and like you can see the optical effects. You can see it's an effect, but it's great.
Really
I know.
Good.
I was like, dang, that's better than.
It's better than most stuff seen today. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, exactly. I was like, this is 1986, and I can tell that that's an optical, but like, you won't see a better one for the next. 2 decades,
and it was good enough to like. I appreciated it, artistically.
Oh yeah,
technically, and it didn't take away from it at all.
No,
because it was hard. Because like on top of it, on everything, it was a slow mo shot.
Yeah,
which is a whole other ball of wax in terms of like doing an optical effect because you got to compensate for that. And I just thought it was really well done. It's
great, and it just ends very sad. And you go like, oh cool, and there. I honestly was like, oh, a transfusion. I never thought of that in my life. That would do it, huh? I guess. And then like I didn't even think about it. He just goes, he just looks in the back and just like, Dad, you ever do a transfusion on a human being? And I was like, why the fuck would he ever? And then I go, oh, because he saw all that stuff, and I was like, oh, he's a farmer. He did that on animals. That's what I did. My brain was like, oh, he's done transfusions on it.
Why would he have done that to animals?
Because why is he doing a farmer?
Why is he doing transfusions
on
animals?
It's like a Dr. Moreau thing.
What? Dr. Moreau?
Yeah, Because farmers get bored and they start experimenting.
Dr. Moreau's Island.
Maybe that was like the most. I was like, huh? I don't want to think about this. He's a farmer. He does that shit.
I didn't go anywhere near that. I was like, why would he have the ability to make this happen? To replace an entire man's blood with
his own.
It was his own blood? Where'd he get that extra blood
from? I don't
from?
know.
He's a he's a veterinarian?
What? He's a farmer. He's a farm veterinarian? Okay. Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna not lie. I was really tired when I first started watching this last night, and I finished it this morning. I got a network.
Your cow's circulatory. You got a human centipede. Your cows. That's how you get the best milk.
Yeah. Ass to.
Yeah. Udder.
Ass to udder.
Udder to mouth.
They had a shot of his vehicle door at the beginning of the movie.
Oh.
See, that's good visual storytelling.
Cameron was like, I was a truck driver. We always had stuff written on our doors. We'll just get some exposition out of the way. And I was like,
that's a great way of doing it.
Yeah, it is. And it must have, and I was like, sorry, man, I'm still stuck on the, it's the night. Can you hear it?
It's the night.
Can you hear it?
Can you hear it, baby?
Akasha, yeah, baby. He's like, I've known you for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Akasha goes, because then he like eats the candy bar, right? And he goes, because he goes to get the bus station. He goes to the bus station, gets the bus ticket. And then he's like, it was so funny because, so funny because he's like, I gotta go, and I kind of like that she comes in, and he just goes, he like stops her, and I was kind of like, oh man, yeah, and he's like, I gotta go, I gotta whatever, and she's like, whatever, and he starts walking, she goes, you won't get far, and he goes, I gotta try or whatever, and he goes to the thing, and then he goes, he's like, you're $3 short, and I was like, or he goes, it's $14, and he kind of like starts flipping through it, and it echoed in my head, and I was like. She said you won't get far because they knew it was $14 for bus fare, and they just filched a few dollars out of his thing. And she's like, you won't get far because you can't take the bus. I don't know. It was just funny.
You have or that's just what your brain did.
Well, as a joke, because like she's like you're a vampire, you're not gonna get far. But I bet she was, it's very ominous. But she's like, because we just stole $3 from you, you can't get a bus ticket now. But you can get a candy bar.
Just enough.
Yeah, it's just we don't want to throw off the weight too much and let you.
They spent so much time on him getting back to town that when he gets out of the bus station and then she's just there.
Yeah,
I wanted him to be like
he went back. He gets off the bus because I did that too. I was like,
oh, see, this is when I was falling asleep.
Yeah.
So did he?
I was like, what the fuck just happened? I thought he was going home. Did she just? And she was like, no, he got off the bus. He said stop the bus, and I was like, oh,
because he saw her.
Yeah, because he realized he like.
Couldn't know where to go.
Yeah, something.
Yeah. Well, that would make sense.
Whatever. Why?
Because he can't see his family again because he's a vampire.
Yeah.
So that would make sense.
They had a shot of his vehicle's door right at the beginning of it. Yeah, right.
Okay. Because in my head,
it
was right before I shut it off because I was like, I'm too tired.
Yeah.
But when she showed up, I just was like, I would have been like, oh,
yeah.
Oh, come on!
Yeah.
I spent like all my money.
Yeah.
I don't have $11 now.
Yeah, you could have just like said you would kill me if I left.
Yeah.
If you were gonna do that. Yeah, no, yeah. So yeah, and then he's like, all right, gosh, all right, let's French for 15 minutes, and then we'll like get in a fight again. And they'll be like, here he's been, and they're like, all right, man, you're back.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jesse? I don't give a fuck. Whatever. Cool. You're cool. All right, we're gonna give you 6 more chances to kill someone.
Yeah.
Go off and kill him. You didn't kill him? Oh, you're dead. I guess you're cool. It's just
I really did like when he finally did save him after the shootout, and then they're in the hotel room, and Hudson or Severin gives he gives him his fucking, his spur.
Yeah.
I did like.
You got a little.
I really did love.
Yeah.
Bill Paxton's performance in that scene.
Yeah.
You know, because he's been so over the top, and you kept I really was expecting him to like. I was like, he's gonna fucking ruin this genuine moment with like a barb of some sort, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And he just took a drag on a cigarette, and he was like genuinely grateful that he saved him without being a dick, which is what I guarantee you in the original script they're like, and they'll be a dick. And then we'll keep moving to stay in line with his character.
Paxton will improvise something.
Yeah, and I'm sure they even probably filmed something like that. Because why wouldn't you? Because that's what you would expect from that scene, especially in '87. But they didn't, and it was awesome, and it was a much more effective scene because of it.
I think maybe the most.
Because then the kid did it, and I was like, "Fuck you, kid."
Well, but I love that because it
feels like I fucking hate this. Guess what? It's not funny.
Yeah.
It's not funny.
Hold on.
If anybody ever does that to me, I'm gonna punch him.
I think it's probably happened.
Like, give me your fucking hand.
Hey Jeff. Hey man. Look, dude.
I'm sorry, dude.
It happened a lot to you as a kid.
Will you shake my hand right now, though?
Yeah.
Shake my hand right now.
Here we go. Hold on. Let's get this on camera.
Okay.
It's gonna be great.
I'm sorry. I just get a little worked up.
Don't you fucking do this to me.
I hate myself.
But I love it because it's kind of like the most near dark moment in the whole movie, where there's a child.
What does that mean?
Because there's
that's so near dark.
It is pretty near dark. There's a child vampire, being like, all right, you can join us. He's Eddie Furlonging the shit out of it before Eddie. He's pre Eddie Furlong, because that's an excellent point, and I did not even think about that. I was like, oh, it's that camera. It's this 2 kids.
Yeah.
But I just love because he's just like, yeah, and his little trench coat, and he goes, and then he just goes, ah. And then he goes, but then he goes, no.
Yeah. And then I did like it, and I was like, you could have just done that the first time. Fucking dick.
That's great.
And he's a short
so silly.
A little chubby chubster. And I was just like,
oh man,
it's
a child.
Yeah. And you're a little chubby child.
All right, man. All right, man.
It's like, come back to me. You can do that move when you lose a couple pounds.
Oh gosh, now you're. Oh man. This is. Hi guys.
No, that kid's. I really do.
He's part of it. All of it feels like crazy and off and like over the top.
Yeah.
But then like I go like, I don't really want to change any of it. It's itself. It is the most itself that it can be.
It's of its time. Yeah. It's just I could tell. I was like, it's a great directorial debut. Mm-hmm. You can see the talent in every frame.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, I could understand why some of this wasn't, because it wasn't. I'm not gonna say it's tonally off for me because of it was her first movie, not intentionally. I think it's a bit uneven in tone. I think all the tones that are in there they meant to strike. But it's kind of like, oh, it's heavy on this at the beginning, and then it goes into this and becomes something else. They're meaning to hit him, but it's just she hasn't done enough yet at this point in her career where she can bring the big and rein that in to where it fits the tone of the somber tone of the rest of the movie. Like, you can do it, but that's just a skill that she will eventually learn through making more movies.
It just feels it's kind of campy.
Yeah,
but you can't tell if it's on purpose, and it does clash with the dark, which you can put clashing things together if you do it right. And that is kind of the charm of this movie, in the sense that it's like, well, certainly at the time there was not a lot, if anything, that had really done that. Maybe, I don't know. There wasn't a lot. You know, it's kind of like there's
a somberness to this in moments. Yeah, that's like Blade Runner-esque.
Yeah.
And like it didn't help that. Well, I mean, I
does
make
help.
that correlation because of the music.
Yeah.
But that's where that is coming from, where it's just like, oh, this is like really artful and serious, and then it's really hammy and over the top in other ways.
Yeah.
And those can work, but they're not working, and it's not because of the two things clashing. It's because of like inexperience as a director, I felt like.
But possibly. And I think like the first time I watched this, I was like, oh dang, like because I was like, oh, Near Dark, and I just happened upon it. My father-in-law had it in his collection. I was like, I'm gonna watch Near Dark. I've heard of it. I'm excited. It's Kathryn Bigelow's first film. It's like it's Southern vampires, like kind of noiry, kind of Western vampires. Like that's cool.
It's awesome.
I popped it in, and I was like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
I was like, this is dumb and crazy and over the top. And then I didn't watch it for years.
Yeah.
And then going into it kind of with an eye toward appreciating it, kind of knowing what my experience, I definitely enjoyed it this time.
Yeah.
But after a little bit, because I think the biggest issue with this movie is that if you watch it for 10, 15 minutes, it doesn't go. It's just a movie that's like, hey, just hang on for like 30 minutes, and I'll give you something you're really going to like. And then the rest of it's going to be pretty freaking cool once you're already kind of inured to all this thing. But if you watch your 10, 15 minutes, you just go like, I can't.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that good stuff's coming, and you're not showing me any of that good stuff. You got to show me that stuff up top. You got to show me something.
But which usually happen. Like, I mean, I think people learned over the course of like the past 25 years. It's like, oh, give them something really soft, and like that people are like, that's such a save the caddy type thing to do, and I'm like, no, it's just smart because then you're like, we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
So just trust us. So
that's what it is.
We're gonna give you 5 minutes of awesome.
Yeah.
And then you can buy into the next 20. And then things are, once we've established our characters, then we're really going to give you something meaty.
And I think what the issue is with me is that, like, because I don't necessarily, because I get it, they're trying to preserve the mystery. It's supposed to come out of nowhere.
But
the thing is that
because I kept double checking myself because I was like, okay, I already know it's a vampire movie. I was like, because I was literally the whole night they spend together in the first 10 minutes. I kept checking myself and be like, is it because I know it's a vampire movie? Because I was like, they're not really hiding this at all. Like, I felt like she said a bunch of shit.
Kasha didn't know it was a vampire
movie
and was surprised.
Okay.
She goes like, is she a vampire? And I was like,
when did she say that?
When she bit him.
But even then, she was like,
she's like,
I mean, I've done that to you
a
couple times. Yeah. I don't know.
But I think, and I don't think they need like a wahoo Jesse like 5-minute cold open or anything like I think the issue is that, like, if you don't do that, you got to like build some mystery and some intrigue, and they try to do that, but everything's so over the top in romance novel that I go, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And I can't tell anything's coming. And she's mysterious, but I kind of can't tell you're not just going like, women are like this and men are like this. It's just kind of like, it's a weird thing. And you mentioned something else that I wanted to, what was it? Oh gosh, darn it. Nope, that sucks. Oh, it's gone.
It felt very first director sloppy to me, but impressive for that reason, given how good the filmmaking is in many other shows. Yeah, I mean, it is an incredibly well-made movie on a technical level. And for the most part, a tonal level. Like, she really does accomplish this awesome, haunting, gothic, mystical quality to the whole movie that I've never seen in a vampire movie before, which is why the more outlandish acting and writing in certain scenes, and it's baked in. So.
And it's a good script. It's Eric Red and Kathryn Bigelow. They wrote it together. There are some genuinely great lines. And there's some genuinely great, like, really catchy, but memorable, quotable.
She didn't quite make it feel like a cohesive whole to me, and like from beginning to end.
But the thing is that I end the movie and I go, well, again, it's like, and you're right, it's felt unique for sure. And I go, cool, I will take a bit of sloppy and uneven if you give me a memorable amount of unique.
Absolutely.
And it definitely does that because.
For sure.
Because it's 1987, this movie comes out, and I can't, like, if you go, it's kind of like a Near Dark vibe. If someone was talking about a script that they were writing and said that it was that, I'd be like it's a Near Dark vibe. I'd be like, oh shit, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I also don't know anything else you would call it. It's a near dark vibe.
Yeah.
There's not really a lot of else that you would. There's not anything else. There's not a whole lot else that feels like that. Demon Knight kind of feels like that.
I don't know Demon Knight.
I guarantee Demon Knight has in its roots, in its DNA, near dark as an avowed.
It was made after Near Dark.
Oh yes, definitely. And I would be shocked if it was not like a totally avowed inspiration point. Like if they weren't like, it's going to be like Near Dark.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, and the story supposedly is that they wanted to make a Western.
Yep.
Right? And then they were like, oh, but Westerns aren't in right now.
Mm-hmm. Find a hot topic of that's
horror.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we'll make a horror, and they mashed it up together. And that's why it's unique, is because they took these two disparate things and like went, you know what I mean? And it's been done. I mean, it hasn't been done too many times.
Shades of what's the Tarantino Rodriguez thing, From Dusk Till Dawn? Yeah. Just because it's like the same genre. It's a vampire Western.
Right, which again, I bet that one drew from.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, like it's got to have say. It's got to say.
This is why this is right.
That's right. Dusk Till Dawn is a good. Yeah, because it's a good reference point.
Because
Yeah.
At the end of this movie, when Lance Hendrickson and Vasquez, they're like, we're done.
Yeah.
And he takes her hand.
Yeah.
And then he's like, let's just ride.
Yeah,
let's floor
beautiful.
it and see what happens.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
It's great.
If she remade her own movie and did it, I guarantee you the waterworks would it would. I think she would have built the movie to an emotional apex that would have really gripped you on it. Like, because you can intellectually be like, that's a beautiful, artistic, and wonderful moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think her talent as a filmmaker now, she would be able to take that and get that movie to a place where that would have been on a characterization level. You would have cared way much more, and it would have been devastating.
Yeah.
Like, it really would have.
Yeah.
And it would have been this beautiful, emotional, devastating, riding off into the sunset and dying type moment, and then getting your little epilogue with the two of them at the end with the blood transfusion. Like, that's why I say that, like, it is I think it's a great movie. And it's an amazing first effort.
And then they explode, which is amazing. People, they explode. The kid explodes. They explode. You go, wow, cool.
Yeah.
Vampires explode when and then they do the transfusion, and I go like, all right, the transfusion, awesome. And then they walk off into the sunset, and I go, good. And I realize I cared about them, and I wanted that to happen.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, it's kind of, honestly, Twin Peaks is not a bad comparison point either, because Twin Peaks is fucking over the top. Twin Peaks is crazy, and then it gets really dark, and then it in its own some ways.
That's that thing that, like, he found that balance, because he flips, like, I don't know what it is, but he flips through it so effortlessly from scene to scene.
Yeah,
because it goes to like grieving over your lost daughter with the parents to Agent what's his name.
Dale Cooper.
There's just music following him.
But I mean, like,
we're gonna do this.
But even those, and they're just like bawling at a 14.
Yeah,
like they're screaming at the top of their lungs. And I think the thing about Twin Peaks is that the thing about Twin Peaks is the thing. Like Twin Peaks is like, cool, it's a murder mystery, and it like unfolds, and there's some crazy shit. But I'm not there's connectivity between and there's integrity in the writing, absolutely, and it's great. But the thing about Twin Peaks is just the feeling of watching Twin Peaks.
Yeah,
and Near Dark has like some weird shit, but it's like, there's a real story. And
he's so aware of tonal shift.
Totally,
Lynch is in command. Yeah, so he's so aware of it that like this is what he does. He will like have them two parents screaming at a 14 and bawling their eyes out, and then he'll smash cut to Agent what's his name? Dale Cooper. Like he'll smash cut to him. Like his face, like he was like, "Boy, that's good coffee."
And you go, I love.
So the audience is like, he's like, "Oh, that's a clear shift in tone," and now your brain just accepts it, and it's just like, "Good, I'm glad we're out of that grief." And now we're with this guy is like, "Boy, that's good coffee."
It is 100%,
and that's how you do shifts.
Totally,
very
deliberately and very like you're telegraphing it, and you go like,
and I think that's what's missing from this, which is why it feels a little messy.
And that's it. Is you just don't know because there are parts where you go like, they definitely know they're doing it. They definitely know they're doing it. Okay, Bill Paxton, just said a bunch of crazy shit, hopped up on a bar, and fucking slashed a dude's face with his spurs, which is horrifying, but also I enjoyed it immensely.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you go crazy. Okay, they're doing that all the time. And then she goes like, "Come on, babe." And then like Lance Henriksen got up and like just enveloped this waitress and started whatever. And then she comes around and goes, "Flink," and it's just like, this is fun and campy. It's also dark and terrifying. So they're mixing that. But then there are just parts of the beginning where you're like, yeah, that whole beginning thing is over the top, but like not where you want it. It's like, no, these are the people I care about, but they do go this very melodramatic way, and by the end of it, I do care about it because they set up these archetypes. So, so yeah, it's, you just can't. You go like, they could be doing it on purpose. If they did, why didn't they polish it a tiny bit, or kind of like refine it a little more, or kind of get more whatever?
It's because
if they're not doing it on purpose,
there's all these great ideas.
Yeah,
and like that's why I see it's like a lot of short films, because like that bar scene is awesome. But it also, they kill in such a sadistically gleeful way that it makes it hard to therefore root for them. So by the end, when they die, I'm like, that is beautiful. And when he reached for her hand, I was like, that is beautiful, because you have each other, and that's all you have is family, is like these people who are like you, and that's it. But boy, you sure were mean. Killing, you know, and like you really are like serial killers. So like I appreciate that moment, but I don't feel that moment.
Super glad you're dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is interesting because I watched for the first time the other night, Leon the Professional. Oh, yeah. Never seen it. Yeah. I feel similarly about Leon.
Yeah.
It is
I could say that.
bonkers all over the fucking place. And you go, what tone are we doing? A child got murdered.
Yeah.
And then we're being like, he's going, bumbling like Inspector Clouseau, the fucking hitman. Like, what is this?
I blind bought it.
Yeah.
And then I watched it because I had heard, you know, it's like, everybody was like,
same, I did the same.
What's his name?
Gary Oldman? Luc Besson.
Luc Besson is like, you know, he's fallen off in the most recent years, but, you know, he still got Leon. Yeah. And then I watch it and I'm like, I think there's greatness in it. Yeah. It's kind of like this. It is very. Like this, I think it reminds me very much. I'm glad I bought it. Yeah. It was like $6, and I was like, "This is awesome. I'm glad I have it in my collection." Also, it is exactly that. It's fucking all over the place.
It's crazy, and you go.
Frankly, good for a remake. I would appreciate another remake of that movie.
Sure. Yeah.
But that's even more of a lightning in a bottle type situation, because what does work in that movie consistently from beginning to end is Jean Reno. Yeah. And Portman. Like that thread to me worked from beginning to end, and that's why that movie is as good as it eventually was. And in addition to all the other crazy fucking stuff, and Oldman is top battle
I mean, he's the Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
Like he just goes like yeah. That's like the thing where they go like, where they tell you like, okay, cool. Like let's just do it as big as you can, and then I'll dial you back.
Yeah.
And then Luc Besson like told that to him. He's like, do it like a 17. Yeah. Do it 17. And then Gary was like, are you sure? And he's like, do it 17. And he's like, okay. And he goes, action. And then he goes, yeah. And he goes, he's like, where's my coffee? And then he did that. And then he goes, oh, cool. So now we will. And they go, Luke. Oh, what? What? Oh, we have no more time. We have to move on. Okay. We have to move on. Oh, we're losing the light. Okay, sorry. We will keep it. Right. We will keep it. And Gary Oldman goes,
and Imbolc makes a great point. He is actually, he just has something unhinged in him. Yeah. Which is why it's so spooky to me to see Oldman in like documentary or behind the scenes things. Yeah. When he's not, because I think he hates doing press. And so when you really see him as he is as himself, I'm like, you're a very soft-spoken, quiet individual. Oh, yeah. Which is weird because I know you have crazy rage inside of you. Yeah. He just seems like he's one of those guys that gets it out through his art. Yeah. And that's what makes him.
Although I don't know. To me, I was like, this is a musical to him. He's just. I mean, super whatever. But I just was watching and Gary Oldman is Gary fucking Oldman. Yeah. But I'm watching it with Kasha and I just go, yeah. Huh? Like, and I think, but are you saying, because I think, no, I've not seen No by Mouth. He directed that, right? I thought maybe, or did he? Is that Rabbit? Whatever. If Rabbit Dog.
I have not seen that.
Wrote and directed. There you go. The movie he directed, semi-autobiographical. Oh no, that's interesting. That's really interesting. I would like to see that. But Paxton to me is. Are we saying when someone said Gary Oldman is actually scary though? You know, Paxton is menacing to me in this movie. You feel like he isn't?
No.
He gets in there and I go, oh, he's just gonna he just kills everybody.
When he cut that guy,
yeah, and they smashed the dude's face.
Yeah, that actually was scary. It was just because of how it was almost like
I disagree,
how they filmed it and everything because like he was being loud and stuff, and then all of a sudden he just did it, and it was kind of like anticlimactic, which made it that much more.
Interesting.
And it was because they didn't do a close up of it and they didn't maximize on it. They showed it almost from across the table, and they didn't do a close up, and it hit harder because of that. And I was like, oh, for all his bravado, he really did it, and then he just shut up about it. And he just did it. Well, and that was scary to me.
Yeah.
But then he went right back to doing it again when he like broke that guy's neck. Mm-hmm. It was a lot. I loved it, but it wasn't scary.
Well, I mean, I wasn't really scared of it. I'm fucking tough.
You're a big tough
we were just come on, man. We know.
He did like 5 push-ups before we started.
That's not true. I haven't done a push-up in decades. I know it's hard to
believe.
I really thought you were going to say it's not
true. I did like way more than that.
Yeah.
You're like, I haven't done a push-up in so long.
Yeah, it's really been a long time. Not decades, but come on. But I just sit back and just enjoy the shit out of Paxton in this movie. But there is genuine menace to me in that movie. I just go like, oh, he's Luke Cage. Who knows what he'll do? To me.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. That's interesting that you guys felt so. See, I didn't feel like it was too goofy, but that's, I don't know. And the other thing is like, I've been like in that, we start this movie with something that I'm like, this is a Saturday Night Live sketch. It's so over the top. So I kind of like, by that time, I'm kind of like, but I don't know. And again, I'm not blaming those actors because like that is the most that you can get. I don't know.
You feel the night?
Yeah, guys.
Do you feel it though? Feel you.
Yeah, goodness. But whatever.
Breaking news. PBS.
What?
Oh, I see what you did there.
Steven Spielberg, unprompted. That's funny.
Movies.
Oh yeah, and he goes, can I have a bite? And like she's got the ice cream, and I go, Mm-hmm. And at that point, I was like, because again, I just remembered nothing about this movie, and I was like, he's the vampire. But then she goes, so when he eats the candy bar later and goes, puh, and I go, thank you for telling me he needs blood. Like I get it. But then like it's at that moment, Akasha goes like, so why was she eating an ice cream cone? And I was like, yeah, it's fair. I don't know if they can't eat it or if it just doesn't taste good to them, or if she was just that committed to the vampire life where she's like,
she fucking eating that ice cream cone.
Like she's like, I'm a slinky, really attractive woman, but like this'll sell it. I'm a human. Hello, fellow humans. You all like ice cream, don't you? Definitely not a vampire.
And then it should have been.
Also, you turned super fast. You did.
That was like a penis.
Cool. So a popsicle. Yeah.
Can I have a bite? Because they were like, no, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I want that. Because also, I'm a vampire. I think I'm gay. I'm a gay cat boy.
Well, hey.
Broke back on.
Ahead of its time. Yeah, I think that's applause. That's applause worthy. Oh yeah, Scott Bakula plays Richard Grieco is what I thought he was. Richard Grieco.
Yeah. Okay, I could see that. Yeah.
Also, young Jay Leno, which is weird that that's the same thing. There were Star Wars wipes in this movie, which is fun. And then at one point he was walking, and it was like Star Wars wiping from him walking here to like him walking here. Like it was like
really?
He was like walking, and it showed his feet, and he's like stumbling, and it was like wipe. It was like, I was like, are you just showing me that he's been wiping a long time?
It's like we didn't get the shots. Like, what are we gonna do here?
Disappointing lack of oiled up saxophone players in this. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna say disappointing.
Well, so when did Lost Boys come out?
Yeah,
this came out the same year, and this was like that was the big hit because this wasn't like a financial hit. It was critically well received.
Yeah.
but it didn't do box office because Lost Boys came out and did gangbusters.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, like because you
that is full of greased up saxophone.
And I have not seen all of Lost Boys.
Have you seen the saxophone scene?
I think I saw John Hamm parody.
You would know if you've seen it.
No, I know. Yes, I have seen that.
It would be burned into your brain. It's the only scene I remember from Lost Boys.
Right. Yeah. And that's got Kiefer Sutherland. Good gravy. Yeah, man.
They made saxophone playing in that movie. I don't know who that guy is. I don't know if he's a real saxophone player because he's built like a bodybuilder and he's moving his body like he's
real.
I feel like saxophone playing is a relatively stagnant thing to do. Like, I don't know, playing most instruments, but he is getting I don't even know if it's oil. I don't know if he's oiled up. He's just sweating that much because he's moving his torso in such a sexually suggestive way for so long. Tim Capello, baby.
He toured with Tina Turner.
He is real. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that seems like a good lineup. I'd see that.
He would fit into a Tina Turner show.
Yeah.
Because, man, she just doesn't stop moving. She's got the fringes. Yeah. All right. She just got fringes. She wears fringes. I like the part where, like, he won't kill someone, and then so she kills him, and then he, like, sucks her blood. Because she's like, all right, fine. And she's taking blood from her. And that's kind of an interesting tension that that she was just like, oh, if you drink too much, you'll kill me. And then he's like, he's like,
yeah.
And it's like, but they didn't like go very far with that.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of an interesting idea. And it's like, oh, cool. She's like,
she's a mommy.
She's like, Akashi goes like, that reminds me of nursing. And I was like, that's funny. And he's literally like feeding off of her.
Little Oedipal.
Yeah. And he's like, and you're like, oh man, so he's got to do it. They're setting up this tension. He's like, he can do it, but it's funny. It's cool that they thought of that step, right? Like, there's like, you got to drink blood or you're gonna die. And then he's like, I can, and it kind of, she's willing to do that for him. It builds their, it shows that she, it kind of builds their bond.
If she'd been like, off her poopy. But
yeah.
Would that have been weird?
Yeah, that would have been weird.
I felt like that would have been really weird.
Yeah, like.
You think people would have gotten it though? Be like, oh, it's like that's his mom now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I guess blood didn't come out from there.
I mean, like, not in my experience.
That would have been gross if she just like popped out her boob and then just like went shh. Just like,
remember the second time he fed off her and it cut to the oil jack going up and down Naked Gun style? Yeah, they just like love to make out, which like whatever they should, because they're interesting tensions. I wrote down the words Kansas City bus station.
Well, like when the tanker explodes at the end, and this is what I'm talking about in terms of like her command of composition. What?
Sorry, go ahead. I just thought of something to say. So go ahead.
What did you think?
Well, I mean, later. It's not. I'm just gonna distract from
when the tanker exploded.
Yeah, go ahead.
And he's standing in front of it.
Yeah.
She already had her film language down in her first movie, where she got all the pieces to, like, she got to cut to a shot of him standing in front of it was a silhouetted shot, and he's almost posing. It's like a Marlboro ad. But it works, and she got the whole sequence to where she could justifiably get him to strike that pose in front of that tanker in a beautiful, iconic looking shot without it feeling like a cool posed shot.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the mark of a talented director who can work all the pieces to those iconic shots and then move right back out of them.
Yeah.
It's just cool.
Yeah, no, and I think
she did it a lot. Like, she did a lot towards the end.
I'm totally impressed with her. I mean, like 100%, because at this point, because what it has, because it's like all debuts. It's, I mean, most debuts. It has this maybe some tonal issues, uneven, whatever, but it has these great moments. And what it really does have is a sense of movement and story and energy.
Yeah.
And character.
And heart.
And heart, absolutely. But really, and like I just go like, oh, Near Dark is, it's crazy, but it's badass. Like it's great. It's super fun, and it's so full of energy. It's energetic filmmaking.
First film too.
It's
like, I mean, I can't, like, I'm saying, like, there's some, like, some tonal stuff for a first-time director, but, like, she fucking crushed it.
Oh, that's a really interesting. So it really felt like it was made by someone who really wanted to be a director. Like, she wasn't so fussed with the material. She just wanted to take a script and film it her way.
Yeah.
Totally.
That is a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
Like, that is it. Like, she's like, I'm going to use this as a way to get a movie financed.
Yeah.
I'm going to film it the way and make through my own film blood, I'm going to make a movie that I tonally want to continue to make in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. But what's crazy is, though, like, because, like, a lot of the, you know, you haven't seen Point Break, but Point Break has some crazy acting in it as well. It just works in that movie in a, it's all crazy and it all works. Yeah. And it's, I mean, it's like everything's cranked to 11 for the whole movie.
It's great.
And it's awesome.
It's fantastic.
And it's what made me realize, because, like, I fucking love Point Break. And it really made me view her in a way that I was like, man, you do guy movies better than almost any other guy filmmaker could make a guy movie.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting because, like, I felt like that is accurate in Block when you're like, she found material that could get financed and then she took it and she ran with it and she made it in her own way. I felt like she didn't return to that. I haven't seen Strange Days. Maybe it's more in line with that.
I can't wait. I think that's maybe like the kind of midpoint sort of change. I don't know. Where she starts getting a little... No, I don't know.
I feel like she has struggled... Maybe... I don't know. I haven't seen Strange Days, so I can't say. Because Point Break is awesome, but it's not tonally... Like, it's only with Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30... where I feel like she's finally making the things in the style that she's always wanted to. And again, I haven't seen K-19. Like, I don't know what that is like or what.
I really wanted to see Blue Steel with Jamie Lee Curtis, where she's like a.
I don't even know what. I didn't know that's another movie she made.
Yeah,
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's like the police, female police officer, the police woman movie. It was like it was very I haven't seen it, but
I haven't seen Detroit.
Oh, I really wanted to see Detroit. I can't believe that just came and went the way it did. I was like, that looked fucking amazing. So we, I mean, I think
it's a great movie, though.
It really is.
Frankly, I kind of want to buy it so I can really watch it in a because I watched a shitty, streamy version of it that was pretty low quality. Yeah. I'd like to. Because it's so well made. That
I mean, go ahead.
I would like to give it its proper due. It's crazy to me that you can't even find it. Like, I was shocked. Yeah. I was just like, I thought this was a popular vampire movie.
It is. It's
why and I don't think
it's when you start listing like alty kind of vampire movies, this will get tossed to the top. And
I think Strange Days is going to be another
tough one to find.
I think so.
Gotta see it. We gotta. Yeah.
Well, no, we gotta do it. But now I just know ahead of time to go rent it because
the thing about this movie, gosh, you just look at this and you're like, oh, it's iconic, man. Like, she's got this white hair or silver hair for whatever reason, who knows? And it just tonally it fits right next to like stuff like Tales from the Crypt or like I mean, definitely from Dusk Till Dawn, but I think that's because it pulled from this. It feels like almost like an American Werewolf, like like that kind of thing, like that.
Yeah.
It's this sort of like what the fuck is going on? This is weird. Oh, is this funny? Oh, is this dark? What the crap?
Yeah, Werewolf in London. Yeah.
Yeah, and like and then Demon Knight, which is a Tales from the Crypt movie.
It is.
Yeah, and like Dusk Till Dawn, honestly, I mean, and they made it, and they're two directors, and they made it after they've gotten their careers going, and it is polished, and it's more singular in tone because it's just a joke, like it's basically all a joke. Essentially, like Dusk Till Dawn.
Dusk Till Dawn is such an interesting one. Like I honestly feel like Near Dark is more in line with the first half of Dusk Till Dawn. Sure. Before the vampires show up.
Dusk Till Dawn is like the first half is like super like cool, like talky crime
Tarantino.
And the second half is crazy. Yeah. And it feels it's weird to say Dusk Till Dawn feels like it because I mean that was a weird thing that I just said. It's like Dusk Till Dawn has like a singular style. It's like no, it has two very distinct styles, and it changes movies. In the middle.
Like they've done this thing where, but like everybody was like, oh, they're doing this grindhouse thing where they're making two movies. I'm like, they've already done it,
totally.
And you see it. You see when it shifts, because Tarantino ends his script by like Salma Hayek puts her foot in my mouth.
Yeah.
End.
Yeah, and he goes, cool, I'm done. That's the last thing I wanted.
Done with mine. You guys do whatever the fuck you want.
And he's like, cool. And then Robert goes, like, is it time for the vampires and the dick gun? And he goes, yes.
Because it happens instantly after that.
And that's it. Because it's funny because I remember hearing for the first time. Yeah, and I was like, and I don't think I even was aware like who those dudes were, or I don't know. It was just like they were like, oh yeah, it was two directors, and I was like, and or two writers, or whatever, and I was like, really? Oh yeah, obviously, because it's just boom, and but tonally it's just like joke, don't take it seriously. It's gonna be a horror movie, but who cares? This is less like I know what to think in terms, because Dusk Till Dawn just goes like, don't worry about any of this.
Yeah, they have a command of like. They know.
Yeah, this is going to be cool and whatever. Who gives a fuck? No one really cares. It's all a joke. We're not taking this seriously. You shouldn't either. Near Dark goes, are we taking it seriously? Are we? But the benefit of that is that I care about it at the end. Like I care deeply about those characters that I was calling ridiculous at the beginning. Like I go like, yeah, I want this family. I want this, and that takes intangible skill to nail.
Yes.
To get that.
Yeah.
And to communicate that, and for me to go like they're walking off in the sunset, I'm really glad that happened.
Yeah.
It feels earned. I'm glad it was earned. I like those characters. I'm glad they all died, and they're gonna have these guys are gonna have, and I feel satisfied, and I actually like feel fond of the. I mean, she nails that. It's really great. Yeah. 6 Days on Netflix. Oh, nice. David granted that it was a popular movie, but it's iconic. Thinking on it's really impressive how she walked the tightrope on Point Break. That movie could have gone so wrong so easily. Yeah.
So easily, yeah.
Yeah, and I think this one could have easily we were pointing out unevenness or weird kind of like tinny or pitchy parts of it, but it could have gone far worse. Like this works.
It works.
It's
and
weird
and it works. Amazing, and she directed the fuck out of it.
Yeah,
she really did.
And I love it. I freaking love it.
It's great. I think you need to go
pretty soon.
Yeah. I want to show this real quick, or you show it.
Oh yeah.
You did.
Wait, real quick. Okay, let's finish out here. Because two things. I love some things that I love. So I was watching Bill Paxton. I was just like, why do I love Bill Paxton so much? And I was watching him, and I was just like, this is so great. And I go, oh, I get it. It's like he is the best parts of Dennis Quaid and Randy Quaid put together. I was like, that's it. He's like midway between.
He's a full
them.
Quaid.
He's between them. He's like the third Quaid brother.
Yeah.
The other there's like this. I wrote this down because like the script is good. Like it really is good. And there's some things that they like really melodramatize, I guess. But then like when the son goes back and they're just sitting in the farmhouse like they're fine and nothing's gonna happen. And I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But they're like, cool, and he goes, but it's like, but they've had this sort of like, I'm one of them. Okay, well I'm back with you guys because I care about you. And he goes, and they're just like clink, clink, and Dad goes, days are getting shorter. He goes, nights are getting longer. And like you know the son says nights are getting longer, and it's like they have this like political divide. it's just like he's just like, I'm back here, but I'm different.
Yeah,
I'm different, Dad. I know, like we're just not the same person. And it's just like this, and I was like, that's funny. I don't know.
It's great. I guarantee you, when
hilarious to me. I just like
when they're writing that though, they're like,
yeah,
nailed it.
Yeah, because like like you grew up and whatever. I don't know. It ends on a freeze frame, which is fantastic.
What is the final shot? That's what I was just trying to think of. What is the final shot?
He goes like, transfusion. Oh, you're safe with it, and they just like start kissing, and she's like,
she goes in on them.
She goes. Is
that the final shot?
She sits up in the thing, and she's like, and the lights coming in. She goes, oh, and he goes, don't worry, and she's like, oh, and he goes, it's just the sun, and she's like, I'm afraid. And he goes, come on. And then he's like, hug, and then kind of whatever. Like, and then he just goes, and he goes, cool. So like, I'm not giving you a ride anywhere or letting you out of here. I'm not unstrapping you from this table
Yeah.
unless we get to fucking. And
Yeah.
you're just like, oh, you didn't learn anything.
He's like, I still haven't found my car keys.
Yeah. That is great. And then
Is Jeff gonna make us watch a Scott and Corinne? No, I'm not.
oh, and then there's like
You can watch those on your own, buddy.
Scotty. Oh, they're great. They're great. That I also was gonna say like the beginning of this movie. This movie in some ways feels like a long Tales from the Crypt episode. It also feels kind of like
I've never seen Tales from the Crypt.
ever. Oh,
Wasn't allowed to watch it. Didn't have HBO.
Understandably,
Was forbidden to watch.
understandably,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah. But it feels like a music video. Like the beginning of it just feel like a lot of it just feels like a 90s.
Where did
80s
she
music
come
video.
from?
I wonder. I still haven't gotten to read anything about her.
I
And
feel
I'm
like I
excited
know
to.
a lot about music video directors. I've never heard her mentioned, so I don't think she was one.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I am curious to know, like, I want to know more about Kathryn Bigelow. We should probably start doing that since we're doing a whole month on her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like where she came up in.
A very talented painter. Huh. That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
She and Kurosawa. Kathryn spent 2 years at the San Francisco Art Institute. 20, she won a scholarship to the Whitney Museum's Independent Study Program. She was given a studio in a former off-track betting building. That's a good building. Off-track betting. I don't know what I'm talking about. Literally in an old bank vault. Whoa, where she made art and waited to be critiqued by people like Richard Serra, Robert Rauschenberg, and Susan Sontag. Later, she earned a scholarship to study film at Columbia University School of Arts, graduating in 1979. She's also a member of the British avant-garde cultural. She's British cultural group. Kathryn's the only child of the manager of a paint factory and a librarian.
How old is she?
She was born in 1951.
51.
So I don't know. Someone do that math.
She, on top of how, like, insanely like she's like one of the best working directors. Like, I mean, she's an incredible director. I mean, she is like, and she's like in her 60s now, and she is just stone cold beautiful.
Don't make this.
I know.
Don't
but
you? Do you want to hide her keys from her? Sorry.
Because she's
very attractive
in her
lady.
mid 60s, and she looks
absolutely
stunning.
Yeah. But to be fair, let's talk about Miyazaki.
Oh, let me tell you about Miyazaki.
Silver Fox.
Silver Fox.
White Fox.
He's got,
Snow Fox.
He's
Boom.
just got this like hair that comes down like this, and then he's like, "What did you make? It's trash."
Yeah,
because I bought. Oh,
first
I didn't tell. I bought the box set. I bought the Miyazaki box set. I just watched Porco Rosso last night.
Is it great?
It's really good.
Yeah, I really.
They're all
see it.
great. I finally saw Nausicaa. And I
oh
saw,
my gosh!
Which is awesome. Shit. And I saw Castle in the Sky, which
God,
is awesome.
What? How do you have time?
I'm watching all of them at like 2 a.m, and I'm enjoying every second of it.
Son of a bitch! I feel like.
So I found it. So you guys told me it was crazy expensive, and then I go on Amazon. It's selling for $600, and I was like, that's crazy. I go on eBay, and I found a seller who was selling like a lot of them. Like I think he had like a stock of like 100. And if he had a few left,
fell off a truck. And they like, I got mine. Like I ordered it. I got it like 4 days later. It was still in the wrapper, and it's the Blu-ray box set. And I got it for $70. That's awesome.
And I have been watching like a Miyazaki a night.
Dang it!
And it is awesome.
Oh, I'm so jealous. Speaking of falling off a truck, you wanted me to show this. Check this, dudes.
Look at this.
Look at this sucker. I got this from Wish.com for $20, and I am very, very happy with it.
And guys, he bought me one too.
Yeah, because I sent a picture of it to him, and I was like, "Hey, tell me not to buy this." And Jeff goes, "You work hard. You buy that." And I went, "Thank you, man." And then I talked to my wife, and I said, "Hey, I'm going to buy this. It's not anything anyone needs. Ever."
It's so cool.
It's fucking cool. Here's the other thing.
Cool enough on this video because it's like see-through, but like it is really well made.
It also has different heads, and you can take the faces out. Sorry, that's really horrifying. But this looks like like something in near dark. And you pop this in. He also has and this is the great so you've got the like. Hold on, let's do this. This is this face. Oh, come on, fix it because we have to be able to see this. There.
Look how cool that is.
It's really cool. That's
Harvey. Harvey, no.
No. Yeah. It's great. For how much? Like $20. $20, $25, can't remember. And so then I sent him that thing, and I was like, here, and then I was buying it, and I was like,
And he bought me one.
I need to get one for Jeff.
It's so cool.
Yeah, because you got
it's like the coolest Batman, and
really amazing.
Specifically it is the best animated Batman, which is the cool, like one of my favorite designs.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I've ever seen. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
You should post a video or a photo of that on Twitter so people can appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So that's great. I'm excited about that.
I'm excited about it too. I'm gonna go home and put mine in my office.
I also love at the end of Near Dark, where or near the end, where like they kidnap his daughter. Kidnap his sister, and they bring him in, and they're like whatever, and they bring his dad in there, and they like, and then he shoots Lance Henriksen and shoots him again. And he's like, oh, and then they're like, he breaks his hand, and then whatever, and then they just like run and get out of there, and like he runs, and they jump in the car and drive away, and then like he's sitting there, and they have that meal, and then he walks out, and May is there, and she goes, "Why did you leave?" And I went, "What are you talking about?"
Did you see what happened? Did you see what happened, May? May is not the brightest tool in the
dumb
shed.
as bricks.
Yeah, she's real dumb.
She's just dumb.
She's like, "Are you guys talking about the night again?"
Yeah. Oh, because I can't tell. She's like, "Fuck, mate, shut up. Just go look."
Can you feel it though?
Take some more Pantene, put it in your hair, and move around with it.
I can't feel it though yet. It's not dark enough.
Yeah, gosh.
It's not dark enough.
Put his in his O-face? What? He looks like he just got eaten the junk. Oh, the Batman's O-face? The Loveless, originally titled as 1981 outlaw biker drama film written. I thought she had a previous one.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, feature-length directorial debut. But I also read today that Near Dark was her debut.
I thought Near Dark was her directorial debut.
Willem Dafoe, musician Robert Gordon, also did the music of the film. We're skipping that? No. I mean, yes, yeah, we're skipping that. Sorry.
Whoa.
Yes, we're skipping it. Hollywood stars leads a blistering attack on the Academy of Motion Pictures saying James Cameron did not win the Oscar for Best Director because he didn't have breasts.
He didn't win for Avatar? He's only directed 2 movies in the past 20 years. Like, what is she talking about?
Jim didn't have breasts, and I think that was the reason. He should have taken home that Oscar. For Avatar? I mean, look.
Who won, and especially who won that year? Because guess what, guys? Avatar...
the Avatar is a lovely experience.
It's a lovely experience, and it's not even close to his... I would put it... Like, where would you put it in his filmography?
I was going to say, was it Hurt Locker?
Whoa. That's just categorically not true. And
that's kind of... is that a comment that, like, his ex-wife won? I mean, is that...
that's so
weird. What a
weird
weird thing for...
Because
in what universe did Sigourney Weaver say that about Avatar?
I could understand, like, them being like, maybe Hurt Locker didn't deserve Best Picture. I could even understand that argument. But if it did deserve one Oscar, she directed the fuck out of that movie. Like, it is very well.
You said Did you say Hurt Locker or Avatar?
Yeah.
You mean Hurt Locker. You probably said Hurt Locker. Who cares? Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hurt Locker.
Yeah.
But Avatar, did Avatar win anything?
I'm sure it won effects.
Yeah.
And music.
Which is all it should have won, because it's not that good of a movie.
It's a heck of an experience. It was an event movie. But sorry. More specifically,
it's my least favorite James Cameron movie.
All right.
Like, I don't know. What would you put above it? I mean, below it. The Abyss? True Lies? So there's Piranha.
There you go.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Piranha.
Piranha 2.
Piranha 2,
he has an incredible filmography.
Piranha 2, The Spawning, although that's got flying piranhas in it, so maybe it's pretty cool.
That's fair.
Yeah. But what I meant to say was, in what universe did Sigourney Weaver say any male did not win Best Director because he didn't have breasts? That's the most. That's
weird that she said that.
Especially Sigourney Weaver. It's the most absurd thing. Like, literally absurd. Not like just absurd.
Yeah.
Like, what universe are we? What do you mean?
That's weird.
In what universe do you say a man didn't win a directing Oscar because he's a man? Like, you just look at it arithmetically. There's only been one woman.
Is she saying that, like, that, like, pro-women movement reached a fever pitch at that year, and that's why she won it?
Yeah.
Because that's also not true.
I know. You remember all that, like, pro-woman stuff when Hurt Locker came out? No.
No, I don't. And also, she deserved that.
Did Lobo just say Avatar deserved Oscars because of an experience? No. No, I didn't say it deserved an Oscar. I just said it was an experience. Like, I thought, because I was responding to Avatar being a bad movie. I'm like, it's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie.
It's not a bad movie.
No, it's an experience. It's like a ride. It's great.
It's okay.
Super fun.
I just didn't like the world.
It's
so
pretty.
I didn't like the
Yeah,
movie
I don't
much.
like the cat people. The whole time I was like, oh, why are they? I wish they weren't cat people. I wish
I
they
feel
weren't
like
cat
I've
people.
seen that movie a million times before in better movies with that plot, and I didn't like the cat people.
I don't hate Fury Road. Fury Road is it's definitely super fun. It's exactly what it should be. Like really super fun, super solid, really good movie. So Fury Road is to me. Alex says he hates it.
Doing it that way.
Yep.
He hates it.
I'm not.
He does hate
I
it.
don't hate it at all. Oh my gosh, I
When
don't
we
hate
get
it at
off
all.
this stream,
Yeah.
he'll just he'll pour some water over his head, and he'll I get so steaming mad
Whenever people say anything.
when people talk about Fury Road because I hate how they're exposing me. Because I really do hate that movie. Like I hate it so much.
This is not a conversation we've ever had.
Yeah.
It's not.
He's like, I get so furious.
I broke your Batman.
I gotta
You haven't
walk
looked at
down
it
that
yet.
road.
It's broken.
No, I'll take yours.
Shit. I actually haven't looked. Because I opened mine and I was like, oh, it's got little speckles on it. And then I was like, what's his look like? And I was like, what? And then
You're like,
and then I was like,
little switcheroo.
but then I went.
You're saying that now to cover your tracks because I'm gonna go home and be like, this has clearly been opened.
Oh,
there's massive speckles all over.
Oh
this
well,
one.
here's the thing. They both came just wrapped in fucking bubble whatever, and it was just like,
yeah.
Hey,
I
man.
think some guy bought 100 of those, and
Yeah.
then he was like, oh, I overdid it again.
I haven't even looked at yours because I thought about it. I was like, what? And I was like, nope. I got the one I opened, and he gets the one he opened. It's fine. You know what the problem is? Lobro never let it in.
I never let it in.
All right. Hold on a second.
Oh, is Pocahontas like the same?
Yeah.
Is that what? Because I've heard that because I've never seen Dances with Wolves.
Oh, it's great.
And I heard that Avatar is Dances with Wolves. It's also Pocahontas.
It's
Are
also,
they just all the same?
well, but
kinda-
it's just so is fucking.
It's like a genre unto itself, kind of.
I mean, so is gosh, what was the thing that I watched the other day that was just that? I can't even remember. Yeah, there's tons of movies where it's like outsider comes into ecosystem or world. His world is, if he becomes part of that world wants to destroy it. It's almost near dark.
Last Samurai.
I haven't seen it.
I thought you liked Miyazaki. That's a Miyazaki movie.
What do you mean it's a Miyazaki movie?
It's the only live action movie he made.
Really? Under the pen name Ed
He's like,
Zwick.
I want Tom Cruise. I want him.
Please, what is that? That's an interesting.
My accent.
Yeah.
Is French.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's the only one I can do.
Okay. Cool.
Tomato, tomato, tomato.
All right.
I'm so happy that he's doing 5 more and spending the rest of his filmmaking career making Avatar movies. At least favorite Cameron movie. And he's like, that's all I'm going to do for the rest of my life. So exciting. It's like the same loss I felt when Zemeckis was like, I'm going to spend 12 years off in digital animation land. I tried watching Polar Express. Just like it was on Amazon Prime. I was just like, oh, I remember.
Yeah, we lost him to CG land. It's weird.
Yeah, I love, and like the book is like, I love. Who's that author? I can't remember his name.
Wilder.
Yeah, Van Wilder. But I put that movie on. I was like, PS4 graphics look better now.
Yeah, well, and it's also just never not been unnerving.
Yeah, it
that
doesn't work.
That movie, I don't know that I've seen the whole movie, but that movie ends when they go to, if I remember, they go to like Christmas Town.
Yeah.
And
meet Santa.
And fucking Aerosmith is there, and Aerosmith plays. There's a CG Aerosmith, and they're fucking elves. I'm not joking.
Did I just black that out?
I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
What?
Unless that was like some sort of weird. That happens, right, guys? Because they're elves. It's like fucking Aerosmith elves.
It just sucks that like Zemeckis, like a filmmaker of his quality, spent a decade like I haven't revisited Beowulf, but like
I liked Beowulf actually.
I think I did. I remember liking it way more than Polar Express, but I'm sure that if I go back and watch that movie, it's like, what did you think was going to happen? Technology like progresses at such a rate that of course it's going to be dated.
Seriously.
Why did he do that?
Yeah, man.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. It's just weird.
I don't like Robert Zemeckis anymore.
No, you do.
I don't.
We do. You come on.
Back to the Future?
Like
trash.
No. Oh.
Forrest Gump?
Don't do this. Don't do this.
Or like Forrest lump of coal.
What Lies Beneath? Get him.
I love What Lies Beneath.
Get him.
It's the most underappreciated.
Do it. What lies beneath my balls?
Long balls, heck.
What lies beneath
You
Robert
know what?
Zemeckis? Nothing anymore.
Yeah.
Cannot be unseen.
Is he doing another? I never saw The Walk.
Yeah, right.
that pilot movie he did with Denzel, that was great.
Flight.
That was a great movie.
Is that him? I can't.
Mainly because I watched it and I was like, oh, this is a movie about alcoholism.
This
like,
is what's
awesome.
yeah. This is
Great.
what's weird now is that I go, a movie comes out and I go, was that Ron Howard? I go, no, it was Robert Zemeckis. And I go, oh, weird.
He has fallen in quality to the point that that is an apt comparison.
But I'm not trying to trash Ron Howard.
I'm not trying to trash Ron Howard either.
But Zemeckis was this
Ron
crazy
Howard
flavor.
has always been.
Apollo 13 is fantastic.
It's his best movie,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's a legitimately, it's a stone cold classic.
Ron Howard.
It's a great movie.
Ron Howard has great films.
Name another great movie.
Hold on. Well, we're.
You need to go.
I do.
We don't need to debate the semantics of Ron Howard.
I don't.
Look.
The
When I was on the Ron
cinemantics.
Howard train, it was like Apollo 13, and then he was like, guess what? Beautiful Mind. And I walked out and I was like, wow, that's an amazing movie. And then I grew up and I was like, that's not an amazing movie.
Yeah. I wouldn't know he's a fan of that, but hold on.
He does Hollywood.
The Cinderella Man's good.
Oh, that is a great movie.
Cinderella's really good. Quite good. Like
He just does Hollywood movies.
yeah, really
Better
really
than
solid.
most people.
Yeah. That's
And then Apollo 13, he made a
knocked
classic.
out of the
That's a classic movie.
Park. I never saw In the Heart of the Sea. I would watch that. Rush. I never saw that. I would watch that. Angels and Demons. Frost Nixon. Frost Nixon's very good. I love Frost Nixon.
Good, yeah.
I love Frost Nixon. Da Vinci Code. Cinderella Man. The Missing I never saw. Beautiful Mind is good. Ed TV. I would watch that. Ransom. He directed Ransom.
Fuck, really? Ransom's pretty good.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Apollo 13. The Paper.
He's kind of all
Far and
over
Away.
the place.
Backdraft.
All right.
Willow.
We need to do a Ron Howard movie.
Yeah, we do. Parenthood. Gung Ho.
Shit.
Cocoon. Splash. Splash is great.
Damn.
Yeah. Night Shift is not great, but it's his first deal.
Dude.
That's what we need to do is do Night Shift and then 6 more movies. Anyway, whatever.
Loving an Alpha Vader. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Last thing. Has nothing to do with anything. But I watched Peter Weir's A Way Back. His last movie that he's directed.
Yeah. What is that about?
It's about World War II prisoners in a Russian gulag who escape and then have to get out of Siberia. They trek 4,000 miles on foot through the desert, through the harsh wilderness, and they arrive in India. And it's like based off a true story.
And they're going home?
They're just getting out into a non-Russian controlled piece of land.
Why is it called A Way Back? I'm just joking. Go ahead. It's just a needless joke.
You do this.
I do.
You do this thing, where I'm like trying to make a point.
Oh, it's so bad.
And then
You're right. You're absolutely right. I've seen it happen. I've watched VODs. And I'm like, oh, what a dick.
Video on demand.
Yeah, I've watched. Yeah. I tell you, I demand it now, and there it is. No, I fucking derail stuff. I'm sorry. It's because I can't not. I just need attention.
Yeah, I know you do.
Go ahead.
We're gonna talk about it afterward. I'm so like, is he ever? We need to do a month on him.
Yeah, but no,
I might
on
push,
Peter Weir.
Yeah, I might push to do a month on him next. I might try to convince you.
Okay, that's fine.
Because it's so sad to me that I think he might be done. Because he's like, he takes so long between projects.
Green card, baby.
And and he's like 78 now.
Oh wow.
And but I look at his catalog and like Truman Show, Master and Commander, and way back are like the last 3 movies that he takes a long time between projects.
Master and Commander's great.
Master and Commander is amazing. It's fucking good. Like every movie he makes,
it's great.
I'm like, that is legitimately great, and he's so underappreciated.
Yeah, Master Commander is a great movie that no one ever talks about.
I know, and it's like a legitimately
fantastic.
I mean, it's fucking fantastic.
Super great.
Truman Show's fantastic.
Yep.
Mosquito Coast, Witness.
Mosquito Coast is great.
Picnic at Hanging Rock.
I've never seen Witness.
I've never seen the one with Jeff Bridges about a guy who survives a commercial airline plane crash, and he's the only guy that survives, and then he thinks he's invincible, or starts to believe he might be.
So like Unbreakable.
But I don't think he is. I haven't seen it. But I think he might maybe psychologically starts to think so. I haven't seen it. I don't know. But I'm like, that sounds like an awesome premise. I don't know. Like, he's just an amazing director, and I want to talk about him.
That's awesome. Yeah. I definitely want to do
a month on him.
Peter Weir. I think we... Yeah.
He's really like one of the best directors like fucking ever. Because
we did Kurosawa, we did Miyazaki, and we did we're doing Bigelow. We need to do another white male director.
We do.
They just don't get enough of an opportunity. Yeah, he hasn't won Oscars for these movies because he doesn't have breasts. That's it. Oh my gosh.
What do you think?
Here's the thing.
I want to know the context of that conversation.
Yeah,
I want to know what led to her saying that, because that is bonkers to me that she said that, and I'm trying to understand in what scenario, like what they could have been talking about that led to that comment.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's I don't understand. Like if they're like, "Hey, Sigourney Weaver, say something you would never say," and then like that's the only
are bad.
Yeah, that's the only way she did. Yeah, like she was like, say something out of character that makes no sense, and she goes, James Cameron didn't win the best director for Avatar because he didn't have breasts, and they go, perfect, good. She goes, wait, but you're gonna put that in context, right? No. Wait, what? How did you get in my house? Like as if it's a personal issue with Cameron and Bigelow's life.
It does sound vindictive. It does sound like something, like maybe because she's so close
that's a weird
Cameron,
coincidence.
She knows some things about their inner workings. Because when did they break up? Like,
I don't know.
Because I know he then
it's their
married
personal
Galen
life. I don't want to. Go ahead. Yeah, Galen Hurd. Yeah.
I can't remember when they were married. They were married through most of the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And then they broke up. I imagine that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Cameron's an amazing filmmaker. I don't think I would be your friend.
Yeah. So hear that, Cameron.
Hear that, buddy?
Hear it. And you know why? It's because you don't have breasts.
That's right.
Jeff likes boobs. See you guys later.
Point. You know what doesn't have boobs? Point Break. It's got a lot of balls, though. It's got a lot of balls. You like, how do you like your balls?
What?
You like them, nice and tight, like Keanu's?
What, man?
Do you like them tan with a little bit of
like
stubble?
What?
Because that's a Swayze. And then if you want something that's just gnarly and like that makes a lot of jokes, that's your Busey.
Busey's in it.
Yeah, it's Busey doing Busey's balls have been in an accident and they've never been the same.
That's the end one. That's what we end on. And thank you very much, guys. We are going to get out of here now. I may have to go.
Ew.
Well, I don't know.
Farted.
Oh, it's gonna be bad too. They've been bad. Get out of here. Get out of here. Grab your Batman and leave.
No.
We're gonna cut. I may have to go to a rap thing. That sounds like I'm going to a concert. I have to go do this rap thing. I'm an MC. There's still ball replacements that clack when he walks. Yeah. It's like a calming office decoration from 1995.
And they were like, how many of these do you want?
Clack, clack,
and then he did that
clack.
line from Rookie of the Year where he just
Oh!
he goes, one more. Remember that?
No.
You've seen Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. Whoop. Jeez, Henry, you could play for the Cubs. You could pitch for the Cubs.
Funky
Butt lovin'. Did he say funky butt lovin'?
Still one of the best lines.
Yeah. And I think it's funny that they were like, what can we say? So it's a kids movie. So we need to like make it like not crass. We can't say fucking ass fucking
Yeah.
if they wanted to say. And they go,
I know when they wrote that line, they must have
funky
started.
butt loving.
They must have laughed.
Yeah.
It's a funny line.
But that is not that is
funky
butt loving.
It's
not
kind of
appreciably
uptight
less
doctor that's
sexy.
saying it.
Yeah.
He just says it, so it's a great acting job too.
It is. But it's not like demonstrably less sexual than fucking ass fucking. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And it's just the innocence of the kid just going, did he just say funky butt
Is
lovin'?
that okay? No.
It works in all ways. It's great.
What about the line in Point Break when he asked Keanu to get him a hot dog and he's like, make it two. I can't wait to see this movie.
Oh man, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
That just made me want to go get hot dogs too. I think I'm gonna go get some hot dogs on the way home.
This guy. He's gonna go get hot dogs. Good luck, man.
I
Walk in.
I like to bring word association into my real life.
You should walk in. Just walk in with your Batman and go like,
I got a Batman. I got some hot dogs.
I want two. One for me and one for Bruce.
Now I hope when I open this up,
I think yours is a little. Here, look. I did look at this and I was like, oh, cool. You don't.
He's like, I can chase this out.
You know.
I can change this out. No problem.
Yours doesn't have the funky, but it has it there though. Okay. All right.
And you know what you can do? You know the cool thing about this?
I forgot about that.
You can put all your shit in
I'm so glad that you said that. I forgot it because I needed a way to. My gosh.
That's what makes this stand
I
so
know.
cool. Yeah.
I know. I forgot that. It's a compartmentalized. Oh my gosh. Not like emotionally. It's just great.
That's what made it, like, it sent it even further over the top. I was like, oh, they thought about where to put all the extra shit. That's so cool.
Because I've got a bunch of Terminator, like T-1000 heads, which is awesome. But, like, you know.
Oh, that is, we've got multiple heads for that thing?
Yeah.
What other ones does it have?
It's got the split. Oh. It's got the pew chest. It's also got the...
And then the hole through the eye.
That's the one that's on it.
Yeah.
And then it's got the normal one.
Yeah.
It's got normal one, hole through the eye,
What's the
split.
normal one? Does it look pretty much like Robert Patrick?
It doesn't look that much like
Yeah. That's where you're paying the thousands of dollars. Like a real photo likeness.
Yeah.
You can put your weed in there, man. Yeah.
What dude?
Put your, like Ken said, you can put your weed in there.
Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Cool. Whoa. This is the internet. Unboxing is a very momentous influence of the event. Yeah, we've unboxed before.
Oh, by the way, Kelsey introduced me to this whole thing on the internet that's like, I can't remember, ASL?
So great. ASMR.
ASMR?
Yeah, not American Sign Language. ASMR, yes.
Yeah, where they talk really low.
Yeah.
And they go like...
Yeah, and they go...
What the fuck is that about? What is that? I do not like it. She showed me like 15 minutes of it, and I was just like, what is that?
Yeah.
Does anybody know?
Yeah, it's some stuff. It's like
we don't have to talk about it. You gotta go, buddy.
No, it like tingles people's whatever, and then also like it's like the vast majority of it is like sexual because like because they're like
it's sexual.
There are a lot of people who like
because there were a lot of like attractive women doing it
and kind of like somewhat low cut whatever, and they're just like that kind of thing. You can't hear, they can hear, so I'm sorry.
That's what it's sexual?
No, not always.
I watched, like, Kelsey showed me one of this, like, 50-year-old lady, clearly in a hotel room. She's like, I'm going to eat this jar of pickles.
Oh, it's supposed to replicate the tingly sensations you get from sounds or personal attention in real life. Interesting.
Oh, that's so sad.
It's nasty sounds for tickled brain freaks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Soy. Thank you, Soy, for that judgment free. I mean, we're sitting here. Yeah. It stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response.
Yeah, I saw that one. But like the microphones with the built-in ears. What? Yeah. It was so weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm judging, and I feel like I have every right to because it just seemed weird to me. If you guys are into that, that's cool. And also, it's weird.
Yep. All right, that's a good place to go. Take your Batman.
I'm gonna
go
play
get
my
you some
Batman,
hot
eat a
dogs.
hot dog.
Yeah. All right. See you guys. I'm gonna cut. I may be back. I may be back. There are just life is full of surprises. Who knows what's gonna happen to me? No, but I may be back tonight. I may have to go to a thing, but it also, whatever. You like Jackass? Jackass is great. Jackass is legitimately the Jackass 1 and Jackass 2. There are a few movies I have laughed at harder.
We've talked about
movies.
this.
Yeah. Oh, it's really great.
After we talked about it, I went home and Kelsey and I watched both of them.
Oh my gosh.
And we were crying.
I know. They're so funny. I told you that. Yeah. There's one,
and we were waiting for that one, and it was just as funny as we had thought.
It's
when
so,
he just gets.
He bounces off the wall. It's so crazy. It's the most. But here's the thing. Like,
it is very funny.
Also, I don't understand. I don't understand because your life. I don't understand because we talk about a thing, and then you go. I went home and watched episode 1 through 17 of that, and I go. I have no time, and you go like, I don't have time either. And I was like, I don't have any time to do anything. You're like, I don't either. I don't know how I get anything done. And you go, I don't either.
And then after I eat dinner, it's me time.
Yeah.
And that's how I privatize my life. And I don't have a kid.
You take those glasses off. Let me see what. Okay. All right. Oh. All right. He wears his sunglasses at night. All right. I may be back. I may be back. Love you guys. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for talking to Near Dark.
Point Break next week.
Point Break next week.
Very excited.
He won't be back, says Emily. I will be. Maybe.
I'll be back.
I might be back maybe tonight. Maybe. All right. Lots of love, guys. Thank you so much. I'm just going to cut instead of rating. Bye! Don't tease me. I'm trying not to tease you. I may not be back, but I may be back. All right. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out, talking Bigelow with us. We'll do it again. Lots of love. Thank you for the follow, somebody. And anybody find you somebody to love. Hi, Chris Burton. All right, lots of love. Thank you, Chris Burton, for the follow. Thank you guys for being here. We will talk Point Break next week. Love you.